Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is the Monty Show. Happy Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Presented by the Advocates, as always, the best injury attorneys in the business. The Advocates, where you never, ever pay a consultation fee. In fact, did you know right now, you can chat with an injury attorney online. Did you get hurt at work today and you're wondering, hey, do I need an attorney? The boss says he's going to take care of me. Well, that's probably not the case, and it costs you nothing. You literally have nothing to lose by going to theadvocates.com right now and chatting with an attorney live 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Big show for you as always. I don't even know what to say about the Big Ten and what's going on in the Big Ten with this TV deal. It is a shocking development. I mean, is this not the most shocking sports story of the year by far, that the Big Ten's TV deal is not done?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way around the fact that it's shocking. It's surprising. I mean, it's classic. Announce a TV deal before the ink's dry type stuff. Like, I mean, it's just, you know, there were mistakes made clearly, and I think that, you know, everyone wants to look at Kevin Warren and say that it's all his fault, and I don't believe that it's all his fault. I do believe he holds a decent amount of responsibility, certainly, but I think that, you know, as we get into this, something to keep in mind is, hey, what time do teams actually want to play, and how much control should teams have over what time slot that they play in, and how much does winning matter when it comes to when you want to play a football game? Because that, to me, is the crux of the issue.
Well, and as we've been talking about for months and months, almost a year on this show, about the Pac-12's TV deal, there is definitely politics at play. Sources told us over the weekend, and we double confirmed today, that it looks like Michigan and Penn State are the loudest dissenters when it comes to the NBC portion of the Big Ten TV deal. And if you aren't aware of what is happening, let us fill you in right here on the Monty Show with the Big Ten TV debacle. Now, listen, the first thing I want to say is, by all accounts and by all the sources we spoke to over the last 2 days, this deal's getting done one way or another. There is nobody in the Big Ten that's going to walk away from potentially a $100 million payday over kickoff times. I have been told that's not going to happen. But Michigan and Penn State are adamant that they will not sign a deal that has them kicking off after 6, 7, or 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is prime time on the West Coast. They simply will not do that. And when you look at the history of the Big Ten, and certainly in recent history, you see a lot of their bigger games, including Michigan, Ohio State, that are noontime kickoffs. And I totally understand that. They want those November games to be earlier in the day. They don't like playing in cold weather football. They claim there is a mental health component, a physical well-being component for the players. Hey, I totally understand that. But at some point, if you are going to move into this role and you are going to fulfill this role as the biggest, baddest TV contract in the country, you are going to have your biggest brands. And in the Big Ten, that is certainly Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. You are going to have your biggest brands playing in primetime at some point. And when you have a TV situation like this, and NBC, who is a big part of this, because remember, this TV deal has NBC with an exclusive window, the late kickoff in TV land, to get into that Pac-12 after dark window. Michigan and Penn State, and by some accounts Ohio State, are saying we're not going to play those games. We are not going to play late night games on Saturdays in November. And listen, I understand it, but it doesn't seem feasible. The other part of this that doesn't seem feasible at all is that Kevin Warren, the former commissioner of the Big Ten, handed NBC a championship game for the Big Ten in 2026 without the permission to do so, put it in a contract, and now is having trouble getting that done because Fox is like, hey, that's all well and good. You can give us our money back because the deal's not dry. Nobody signed this deal, and it has left the Big Ten incredibly vulnerable in a lot of situations. And if you look at the reporting that's out there, like Pete Thamel today tweeted this graphic out where he talked about the fact that you have, a $40 million paycheck going back to Fox because, according to sources, Kevin Warren gave that championship game to NBC. The Big Ten Network, you will remember, is actually the one that controls the rights to the inventory in this deal. And who owns the Big Ten Network? That'd be Fox Sports. Mm-hmm. And it is remarkable that Kevin Warren either made a mistake or acted out of his level here. He didn't stay in his lane. You look at this bottom one, there's tens of millions of dollars of value in NBC's primetime deal in flux, as Petitti, the new commissioner of the Big Ten, has been racing to ensure it keeps as much of its original value as possible. Holy cow, this is a big deal. And Jake, I don't think there's any easy way to fix this. It is going to require, and remember, in a league where there's only 3 teams, it is Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, and then everybody else at this point. In a league with only 3 teams, there's going to be some folks who are either going to take far less money, or those 3 teams, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, are going to have to bend the knee and play late November games, and I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, well, and it surprises me a little bit, like when I think about exposure, and you think about the college football playoff, and you think about all the great things that come from playing in the primetime slot on the West Coast, like I do think that there is a lot of opportunity. Now, I'm certainly not saying that, Michigan or Penn State or even Ohio State should have a big tolerance for doing that on a regular basis. But you can't be in a place where you're saying, hey, we're never going to play these games. I mean, you got to be willing to play the West Coast late window game at least once or twice a season. And I just don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with Michigan getting their ass on a plane and flying out to SC. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why you're not willing to go out there. You want to sit here and talk about, mental health, and you want to sit here and talk about how it's so difficult. Then why is SC and UCLA coming into your conference?
Yeah.
Right? Why? Why did you sign off on that? Why was that okay? Well, because if they're flying, you don't care about mental health, but if you're flying, it's a problem. So I see a double standard at play there, but I also think, this Kevin Warren situation is a real problem. There's no getting around it that he offers NBC, a championship game that was supposed to go to Fox, and like you have all these conflicting and crossing wires of communication, and I think that's what Tony Petitti has been tasked with to come in and basically clean up. And again, I say, hey, right out the gate, when you're joining the conference that's making the most money in the land, more money, more problems. And now you precisely have more problems because you're trying to put together this juggernaut or this behemoth of a TV deal. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's a problem. Like, if these schools would just get in line and say, yeah, you know what, we understand, we do need to go to LA, or we do need to do these certain things. Like, we get it. We'll figure it out. This deal would be done very quickly. But if these 3 schools are going to be stubborn, like, I'm not sure what that path looks like yet.
Well, I also think this situation at USC is a huge problem. And I don't know how many people saw this. I'm sure you must have seen it by now. Mike Bohn, the athletic director at USC, was fired, essentially, according to massive amounts of reporting out of Los Angeles, for inappropriate behavior around female employees at USC. He made inappropriate remarks about clothing and hair and weight from the athletic director, and I would remind you, who resurrected athletics at USC. Mike Bohn was a massive hire when he got to SC. He brought in Lincoln Riley. He essentially helped push through the move to the Big Ten. Everything that you have at SC in the last several years is because of Mike Bohn.
Yeah.
And now you're moving to the Big Ten a year from right now, and now you have a massive sex scandal on your hands, essentially, or workplace harassment. We'll get more details as this comes out. Mm-hmm. But this is not a good look for USC. This is not a good look for the Pac-12. This is not a good look for the Big Ten. when a high-profile athletic director had to mutually resign because he wants to value his family and he has lingering medical issues. And then 2 hours later, I believe it was, the LA Times came out with the news that, Mike Bond had inappropriate, atmosphere, inappropriate comments, inappropriate behavior and language around female athletic department employees who reported it, who said they were uncomfortable, and SC fired him for it, according to reports. Like, this was not a good 5-day period for the Big Ten. And there's just no way to look at this. But hear me clearly on this Big Ten TV deal. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. And you are going to have to shuffle money around now because each one of these programs, if this deal is signed, and I think it's going to be signed, if this deal is signed, at a minimum, you're going to have athletic programs that are cutting a rebate or taking less money for several years from Fox, or you're going to pay less money if you're NBC because now you're not getting a Big Ten TV deal. Like, somebody's going to have to give up money, and you know who that's going to be? That's going to be Oregon and Washington. That's who's going to pay, I think, the majority of this money, and who's going to suffer the financial repercussions, because it's not going to be Ohio State. It's not going to be Michigan, and it's not going to be Joe Paterno's, kid, damaging atmosphere that he created in Happy Valley where Penn State shouldn't even be playing college football anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to be those Penn State Nittany Lions. It's going to be Oregon, and it's going to be Washington. And I think this goes to show you several things. One, the news has not improved over the weekend on the Pac-12 TV deal. This report that will kick off as the Pac-12 burns. Because remember, you guys as a viewership demanded a name change from as the Pac-12 turns to as the Pac-12 burns.
Right.
A lot of people have asked, well, hey, what's going on over the weekend? And this story that is continuing to circulate, and Andrew Marchand had it, and a bunch of people had it, and we've had it for 6 months. We have had it for 6 months that ESPN and the Pac-12 are really nowhere. They're not closer together. They're not further apart. Nothing has changed for ESPN and the Pac-12. And as simply as I can state it, you can say that ESPN's out on Tier 1 rights. You might be right. You can say that ESPN only wants, Tier 2 and Tier 3. You might be right. But here's what I know from people in the industry who have told me since beyond the first of the year, back in late December, ESPN's offer for the Pac-12 has not changed, not one time. $90 million for 5 years.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. $90 million a year for 5 years. You want to give us your Tier 1 games? Great, we'll take them. Our appetite would be for 2 games a week, 1 for digital, 1 for TV. Done. You want to make that your best game? Great. We're not taking your worst game. Because remember when this TV deal kicks in. This deal kicks in a year from now when SC and UCLA are out of the conference.
Yeah.
So while you may have 5 games a year, every year going forward, you're not going to have SC and UCLA. So instead of 6 that you have this year, you're going to have 5 next year, right? And that is, by the way, if you don't expand. And at this point, it's looking less and less likely that the Pac-12 is going to expand before a year from now. Very less likely. So let's surmise they don't expand and they do a deal with ESPN. So you've got 5 games. And let's just surmise that nobody leaves the conference, which I think is highly unlikely. But let's surmise that nobody leaves the conference. Right now, what's the best game in that conference? Well, it's probably centered around Oregon, Washington, and Utah. Those 3 teams have to be involved because those by far are the 3 best football teams in this conference. Subtract USC and UCLA. So those 3 teams can't play each other every week. Oh, by the way, don't forget there's like a month of bye weeks.
Yeah.
So instead of 5 games a week, you're going to have 4. So if you're ESPN, are you paying for the worst game? Well, on a bye week, what happens if Oregon has a bye week? Because I would assume, and this is probably way reaching. I mean, a massive reach. I'm going to assume that you are not going to allow Oregon and Washington and Utah to have bye weeks on the same week. I'm just going to assume that. You're going to spread those bye weeks out, right? I mean, George, right? You would hope so. Because if I've got Arizona and Oregon State as my best game of the week, we don't have a best game of the week. We don't have a tier 1 game that week. And that's the harsh reality of it. Because you don't have, if you're playing Arizona and Oregon State, you don't have big TV markets. You probably don't have top 25 teams. With all due respect to Oregon State, because I tell you every day on this show, I love what they're doing in Corvallis.
With all due respect.
But in the grand scheme of things, right? And who knows what's going on with Barnes, their athletic director, who had a massive health scare recently with his heart, and who knows what's going to happen at Oregon State. But I'm going to guess that Arizona versus Oregon State a year from now is not a top 25 game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to guess. Can that be a tier 1 game? Can Arizona State, 1 year from right now, and I know they have 79, QB1s on their roster. We get it. We get it, Drew Pine. You're amazing. Can Arizona State and Washington State be a top 25 game a year from now? Let me ask you this. Can Oregon and Colorado a year from now be a top 25 game? Probably not.
Yes.
No. And I know you're a huge Dion guy.
Hey, man.
They're projected by just about everybody to win not 4, not 3, not 2, 1 game this year.
I know. Everybody's on the 1 game train.
But no, seriously.
Yeah.
Their projection is to go 1-11 at Colorado this year. Is that a team that's a top 25 team a year from now? Come on. If we're being honest, and I know Shedeur Sanders is slice quarterbacks, and he's going to be amazing. That's not a top 25 team. So if you don't have Oregon, Washington, and Utah, you don't have a tier 1 game. So how are you going to work that out? How are you going to work that out? In this 10-team group in the Pac-12, how many top 25 matchups will there be during a given college football season?
Yeah, I guess I'll have to figure something out.
Oregon and Washington, that's 1. Washington and Utah, that's 2. Oregon and Utah, that's 3. You're only in an entire season, maybe. Like the picture is dire. And let's just say you add who everybody says they're going to add, San Diego State and SMU. That doesn't get you more top 25 football matchups.
Agreed.
So you're in a hell of a spot. So the issue becomes not that ESPN is anybody telling you that ESPN is out on Pac-12 football does not have the pulse. They don't. Because without saying and stuff,
Right.
we're pretty high up the food chain. And if you go back and look at our YouTube log,
Yep.
we've been pretty spot on with this story. ESPN's not out on Pac-12 TV
And
rights.
I feel like a lot of people, what was it, Dodd, who said that a lot of people misquoted, was it Dennis Dodd,
Yes.
I believe it was? Everyone was like, oh, Dennis Dodd said ESPN is out on Pac-12 altogether. No, dude, that was just the headline. That was the clickbait. That was you swallowing that hook so he could reel your ass in on the story, right? What did Dennis Dodd really say? He said, hey, they're out on tier 1. They're not going to pay you more money for tier 1, just like my guy here said.
And let's get it right. The Pac-12 is out on ESPN as a tier 1. Because if you said to ESPN, we'd really like you to take our tier 1 game. Okay, cool. Yeah, here's your $9 million check to start the contract. They're not changing that. If you want to give them tier 1, they're still going to give you $90 million a year.
Yeah.
You want to give them tier 2, they'll still give you $90 million a year. That's all they're interested in. And the other thing that a lot of people hit me on today, and we have reported deeply and widely on the CW, I have told you in the past, and the same thing I'm going to tell you today. We have talked to the top guys at the CW.
Mm-hmm.
The issue between the Pac-12 and the CW is LIV Golf. That is to say, number one, if you're paying attention, what we reported 2 weeks ago, the CW lost massive amounts of major market CBS stations. So what does that mean? Well, it means they don't currently have an affiliation in San Francisco, which is the pulse of Pac-12 country. So let's say you do a deal with the CW. They're going to have to bring you an affiliate in San Francisco and one that has reach. Because, by the way, who they also lose? Pretty sure they lost Sacramento in that group as well. So you don't have Northern California. And I would also remind you, they don't have an O&O station in Arizona or Oregon. And what does that mean? O&O stands for owned and operated. What does that mean? Well, that means that they don't dictate the programming on those stations. They have affiliates, which is a TV station that takes the CW feed and puts it on their air. So they have affiliates, but affiliates do not have to take anything they don't want to take.
Yeah.
Right? So you say to them, hey, we have a deal with LIV Golf. Need you to carry that tournament. They're like, okay, I'll carry it from noon to 2, but then I'm putting on, Full House reruns again.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we saw 2 weeks ago in Tulsa. When I'd remind you, what did the Tulsa CW affiliate do? They cut that tournament off halfway through the final round on Sunday and said, peace out. We're going to reruns of TJ Hooker. Most of you are too young for TJ Hooker. So that's one issue. That's one aspect of the relationship, is that the CW is not exactly robust in the heart of Pac-12 country, right? Okay, so that's one issue. Number two goes back to, again, the LIV Golf deal. And you may not know this, and if you do, I'm not trying to mansplain it to you, but the CW does not give a paycheck to LIV Golf. In fact, no money changes hands. So there's not like hey, we're buying rights to LIV Golf. That is strictly a revenue share. LIV Golf and the CW share the ad sales and they split it. That's the financial deal. The Pac-12 cannot do that. The CW and its parent company will have to cut a check to the Pac-12 every year. And now here's the toughest part. Early on in this TV process, and I want to say it was October, go back on the channel and check it out. We talked about the CW. And we told you, hey, here's the biggest issue with the CW. And it is the Pac-12 wants a national TV deal. The CW wants to put them on west of the Rockies, which is to say in Pac-12 country. They want to do a regional deal, much like the WNBA deal with Ion TV, which I thought was brilliant. The CW wants to say, okay, well, Utah football or Washington football. Okay, Washington football, we're going to have a Pac-12 doubleheader every Saturday afternoon into prime time. And the late game in Seattle is going to be the Washington Huskies. The late game in Los Angeles is going to be San Diego State. The late game in the Fresno is going to be Fresno State. You get my point. But you're going to take Oregon and Arizona as your early kickoff, and then your game, Washington versus Washington State, will be the primetime game.
Yeah.
That's the deal that the CW wanted to make. And the problem is, our sources told us, I'm pretty sure it was a $150 million offering. And that was it. Because you're the CW. Yes, you're part of a vast media company. But again, this is the CW. And remember what the edict at the CW is. We want to carry live sports, and college football is a priority. For $150 million. So if you go to the CW, and let's say you make the $150 deal, you're not going to have stream, number one. Number two, you're out. ESPN's out altogether. Because the CW is I would guess, is a non-starter for ESPN. And I'd also guess that ESPN's a non-starter for the CW. Now, that's just on your TV set. My guess is ESPN would pay you some small incremental income, cash, to put a Pac-12 game on ESPN+. That'd be my guess. I have heard that to a very lesser extent, that we'll take one game and put it on ESPN+, period. Nothing on TV, nothing on the .com, just on ESPN+. But does that get you to $20 million? That probably doesn't get you to $20 million. And by the way, what have our sources at multiple Pac-12 schools told us? If it's not $25 million, we're probably losing half the conference.
Better send those refunds.
$25 million. And if the CW truly is at $150 million, is this really a deal? Which comes back to the tipping point with the Pac-12 and the CW, in that the Pac-12 wants the CW to buy in on a national scale, which means if you are in Miami, Florida, you're going to get Pac-12 football, which means if you're in Dallas, Texas, you're getting Pac-12 football. Now ask yourself this, if you're in Norman, Oklahoma on the CW, do you give a rat's ass about Utah and Colorado playing a football game on the CW? Is that a game you're turning on?
No.
In Tuscaloosa, Alabama? And this is my point.
Yeah.
If you're the CW, that's not a deal you can do.
No.
Because your CW stations are not going to carry it. They're not going to carry it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those CW stations are in the heartland of America. And if it's not Bama, it's not nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not West Virginia, if it's not the Mountaineers, if it's not the Sooners, if it's not the Canes, if it's not the Gators, if it's not the Knowles, nobody in Tallahassee is watching Oregon State football.
That's the bottom line.
This is a very difficult deal to put together.
Yeah.
And I understand a lot of people think the CW is still in. I don't believe, and I've said this before, I don't believe that anybody has said, hey, we're never talking to you again, drop dead. The conversations are happening. The question is, are we just blowing smoke, or is there actually a tangible deal there? For the Pac-12, there is a tangible deal to be done at the CW. You remember this at 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern on May 22nd. There are tangible deals on the table, and here's where they exist.
Mm-hmm.
They exist at the CW. They exist at ESPN. They no longer exist, in my opinion, from what sources have told me, and we've reported it on this show, they no longer exist at Amazon.
Yeah.
And I don't believe they any longer exist at NBC Universal. I think the only place you're getting a linear TV deal is the CW for $150 million west of the Rockies and ESPN at $90 million a year for 2 games. One's on digital, one's on the mothership. I think those are the legitimate TV deals that are out there from what we've heard.
Yeah.
And this brings me back to one other point, because I talk a lot. I totally get it. It is called The Monty Show.
Right.
Where are you going to get your stream from? Because for all of the ESPN's out.
Hey, you start talking shit.
Where are you going to get your stream from? How about ESPN Plus? I think now, and again, I could be wrong, I think now the only streaming partner available to the Pac-12 is ESPN Plus. And I think there's a lot of people who believe, well, if you don't get the linear, you're not get. There's a deal to be done with ESPN on ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, again, who told you here first?
Yeah.
ESPN is not worried about you watching on TV anymore. It's nice income for them. And what have we told you repeatedly about ESPN? All the people who are like, ESPN is dead.
Layoffs.
Hey, that's cool. They're all basing that on not nearly as many people are watching ESPN on television as they once did. But what they also don't want to tell you is that ESPN is making $430 million a quarter on ESPN Plus members.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
I said $430 million a quarter.
Dude.
Just on ESPN Plus memberships. That is not, like, I thought Marchand in the New York Post made a great point. That's not even, like YouTube TV. Where do we watch ESPN every day?
YouTube TV.
We watch it on YouTube TV. So all of these people are like, ESPN's dead. Well, YouTube TV ain't getting ESPN for free.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Well, yeah, they're paying a carriage fee. So ESPN is far from dead. In fact, I would tell you, as I have been told by people in the TV industry, ESPN's an ATM machine for Disney.
Yeah.
And it's a very good part of what's going on at Disney.
So why do you think they're laying people off? And this is what the haters don't want to admit. They're only laying people off because they're trying to keep the profit funnel in a certain percentage so that they can feed the rest of the business. That's the only deal.
And where are they focusing all of their revenue? On creating value in their digital properties. So ESPN.com, ESPN Plus. Tonight, when you're chilling in the cut, open the ESPN app. Notice on the Lakers-Nuggets game, there's going to be a little gold button. It's just going to be like a little bubble. And it's going to say, watch live. You click that button, and if you're an ESPN Plus subscriber, it'll start playing right away. Yes! If you're not, you'll have to log into your DirecTV or cable account, and it'll play right on your phone. Think about that. So if you log into your cable account or your DirecTV account, guess who's paying that bill?
Yeah.
Well, you're paying it to DirecTV in my case, right? I pay DirecTV. DirecTV pays ESPN because I just watched through the app. ESPN's not dead.
Yeah.
But what ESPN is incredibly savvy.
As the day is long.
They are incredibly savvy, and I'm telling you, and we can sit here and we can play this stupid little game and go back and forth about how you hate ESPN and Disney sucks. Hey, that's cool, dude. That doesn't mean they're dead.
Yeah.
That does not mean they're dead. All it means is that they like Bucked Up the same way that I like Bucked Up, which is why I have a buckshot right here, my friends. Got him back in. Love my guys at Bucked Up. Sent it right to my front door.
Yes.
2 cases of buckshot watermelon. Shake it up. Let's go. It is time to finish the day strong.
Let's go.
Fat ass has a golf lesson in 3.5 hours. Done.
Okay, first of all,
Yes.
fat ass has a golf lesson in what am I supposed to say to that?
Well, you should say I've lost weight.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
look great.
fat.
You've lost weight. I mean, everything's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It is. And I'm good looking. So I appreciate it. All right, let's get your comments. How the heck are you guys? Hello. Make sure if you're watching this show right now, please please click the like button. That would be amazing. We always love when you guys hit the like button. It does help the channel grow. So please feel free to do so. Right now we've had 1,200 views of the show, and we've only had 69 likes, so please hit that like button. Marlon Shaw gives us 10 gifts.
Let's go. Getting the week started off strong, baby.
Way to go, my guy. Appreciate you, Marlon Shaw. Thank you. Travis Hinton says, let's go Casuals. What's up? Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's see. Who's the first one in today, by the way? I got to go all the way back to the top. So I get all of your comments, you guys, just so you know, on this screen in a delivered to me in one clean area, but that doesn't mean it's easy to get all the way back to the top. Look at that. Forlorn Angel, first one in today.
Well.
Looks like I got in first, LOL. Just saw this report from Outkick today. ESPN Pac-12 not having substantive talks as conference fights to survive.
I mean, I don't know where you would have heard that first. I mean, you know.
I think, and this is the Andrew Marchand report. Without question, Andrew Marchand, New York Post, the best media reporter in the country. It's not even arguable, in my opinion. Reported that. That is his language. I want to make sure he gets credit because he deserves it. And notice he didn't say they haven't talked or talks are dead. Substantive is a very interesting word. And I'm not speaking for Andrew, but what I'm telling you is ESPN has not budged an inch, a millimeter, not a bit. $90 million a year for 5 years. Period. And I think that's a very unsubstantive position to take if you are the Pac-12 and you are trying to get yourself a $400 million deal, which is what George Kliavkoff has told a lot of presidents in the Pac-12 that they would end up between $400 and $500 million.
Yeah.
I don't see any way that happens. And I know that I am not any kind of nothing in this world, you know.
Nothing.
A little breaking news for you. The A's have fired Glenn Kuiper for using a racial slur while describing a trip to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum last month in Kansas City. This is just breaking now. This is a story we told you about on the program. The A's were in Kansas City, and he was trying to say, hey, we went to the Negro Leagues Museum, and we had great barbecue as well. Kansas City is a great place, let's say. He said we went to the N-word League Museum and had great barbecue. Kansas City is a great place. Today, the Oakland A's made it official. They fired Glenn Kuiper.
Glad it took him a month to figure it out.
I don't know how you haven't fired him yet.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. Yeah.
Derek Roche. If I'm Brett Yormark, I'm eating steak tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could. I mean, without a doubt, you could. Jake Nelson says Hulu, so damn easy. Never have I looked at Hulu. In the comments section, what do you guys pay for every month?
Hulu has live sports.
Yeah, where are you guys at on your, where is your streaming dollar being spent? Cougar Track says my spell check owns me. Okay.
Little sidebar. So you guys remember when Donnie did the CNN thing? You said something to me that night. Said, hey, he's going to get himself in trouble.
Yeah.
And now he's getting sued. Again.
What happened?
Gene Carroll is suing him again.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, I think in our world you have to be ready to be accountable for your words. Truck Stop Gumby, what's up? My flexible friend. Baby Yoda is also a cash machine for Disney. It is.
I am your father.
I have a Baby Yoda. Christopher Shannon, 430 million times 4 equals 1.6 billion. Not bad. And by the way, I'd remind you, Disney, that is what ESPN makes per year, is what that pencils out to on the back of George Kliavkoff's envelope. $1.6 billion a year. Disney is making $5 billion a quarter on streaming.
But everyone wants to say, oh, they're dying. They're dying.
They are realigning their economic priorities. Kurt Myers, Lois, I will be in St. Jeezy on Thursday.
Who's Lois?
Yeah, who's Lois? I'm so confused. Patrick Bourne, ESPN is alive, but the Pac is dead. I think the Pac-12 is in real danger, and as we move, what is it? Isn't there a group that has a doomsday clock for the world? Mm-hmm. And they're like, it's 25 minutes to DEFCON 1.
Yeah, let me. I need to know the name of that group.
You're not in great shape if you're the Pac-12, and I think he knows that. I'm sure he knows that. Patrick says, if I'm Brett Yormark, I am taking my boats and packing them up for future ACC, because to have an opportunity at San Diego State as part of the Pac defectors, it has to be before July 1st. It doesn't have to be before July 1st. And I think we went out of our way to clarify this, that San Diego State's position, for those of you who didn't see it, San Diego State's position at this time is that they currently, if they want to leave the league, and I would remind you, our sources at the Mountain West Conference and at San Diego State have told us they have not let the league know they're leaving. Mm-hmm. San Diego State has not filed the proper notice to say we are leaving the conference. They have not done that. If they do that and they want to leave, it would not be until 2024, but they have to give that notice by June 30th. At that point and on that date, it's $17 million that San Diego State must scratch a check for to the Mountain West. If it is on July 1st or later, it's $34 million. So it's double that. Reports, and I believe it was Sports Illustrated, said it was triple damage. It's not. It's only double. $34 million is a hell of a lot more doable than 51.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about that. So again, I don't think San Diego State is make or break on June 30th. I truly don't. I could very easily see them doing Louisville in the Big East and saying, hey, we're out. We're not sure where we're going, but yeah, we're giving you notice. We're not going to be here in 2024. I could see San Diego State doing that, but here's a big question. Why would they do that? Because I am of the belief that they have one option. If they want to leave the Mountain West, there's only one place they're going, and that'd be to the Big 12. Because at this point in time, I don't believe that the Pac-12 has the revenue because of their media rights situation to add San Diego State even as a 50% partner. So let's say you get a $20 million TV deal. I don't believe that you can afford to add them at $10 million. And here's the other problem. Is that enough money for San Diego State to leave the Mountain West to go to the Pac-12 for $10 million? I don't think it is. I don't think it is, because what have we heard all the snarky, Big 12 truck stop conference. Somebody's going for a couple million. Well, isn't that exactly what San Diego State almost to the dime would be doing, going from the Mountain West to the Pac-12 for $10 million is a couple $1 million. Like, does that make sense to anybody? And by the way, here's a problem for San Diego State. You go to the Big 12, what's the issue? Well, the issue is that ESPN has made it very clear they are not paying for non-P5 universities.
Yeah.
So the reality is that San Diego State is not a P5 university. They're in the Mountain West, which is a G5. And that means that ESPN is not going to pay for them. Now, our sources had told us that Fox had made it pretty clear that they would chip in on San Diego State. But is ESPN willing to chip in on San Diego State? Because I think one of the larger questions about San Diego State, one run to the NCAA championship game. Is this the making of a perennial powerhouse basketball program?
I think it's a little early to say that. I think that there were a lot of factors that went into it.
But isn't that the question you're going to ask if you're the Big 12? Because if you add San Diego State, is that a team starting in 2024 that can compete at the top of what is widely regarded as the best basketball program in the country? And in my opinion, according to our sources, that league will at that time include Gonzaga? I don't think so. And I think J.D. Wicker tilted his hand a little bit. He was tipping his pitch a little bit.
Right.
When he came out and said, well, we're going somewhere. I mean, I don't know where.
Dude.
That's what J.D. Wicker said to Seth Davis at The Athletic. We're going somewhere, either the Big Ten or the Pac-12. Now, why would Seth Davis ask a follow-up? I mean,
filling in for somebody.
But the point is, I don't know that San Diego State has a home outside of the Mountain West. And I think if you're San Diego State, you'd better think twice and 3 and 4 times before you go ahead and bail on the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Because the Mountain West is a pretty good place for you to be, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, the difference is going to be that they compete at the top of that conference every year.
Well,
even kind of like Gonzaga, right? Like, Gonzaga's at the top of their conference every year. And now going into the Big 12, obviously there's a belief that Gonzaga can compete at the top of the Big 12 or else they wouldn't be adding them.
Correct.
But San Diego State's kind of different because it's like, hey, it's a one-hit wonder. I mean, what do you do next year? What happens with, good old Bronny at SC, or like what other programs are going to come to the forefront and change things. So to me, I if I'm the Big 12, I don't really care, to be honest with you, if you compete at the top in year one. As long as you're mid-table and you're competitive, we're in a good place, because you've given the Big 12 the Western or the Pacific time zone they've been looking for. And that's really what Brett cares about for money purposes. So they're in a good place.
Totally agree. I don't. I'm just telling you, I don't know what you do. John TL. All right, John. That was a serious slip of the tongue, for Glenn Kuiper. And I know Glenn a little bit. I used to work in the Bay Area, so I got to know Glenn a little bit. And I don't believe Glenn Kuiper's a racist, but that's just something you can't say. Yeah. If you're going to say that on a broadcast, you're going to lose your job.
Well, what bothers me about it is, like, now I have to wonder if you are, right? Because Because that,
You do.
I don't agree with the people who are like, hey, one word is like the other word. It's like, no, dude, that word is on the first team can never say it list, right? Like, you can never say that word. And you're a professional, dude. There's a standard like that. And I feel like that's what no one wants to talk about. And even in the Pac-12, Big Ten, TV deal land, like, again, with the Kevin Warren situation, dude, there's a level of professionalism that you have to live up to. And I think there's some questions about, what kind of situation Kevin Warren left that conference in. Like, it comes back to, hey, there's a bar, and did you meet the bar or did you not meet the bar? And dude didn't meet the bar.
As a Bears fan, it's terrifying. Tony Walshin. Okay. Why is Disney stock down? Well, I mean, I think that's pretty self-evident. I mean, they're having a lot of problems in Florida with Ron DeSantis. I think that's a big part of it. I think they were crushed during the pandemic. Their entertainment and parks division really took a beating. I think from movies to, TV shows to their entertainment cost skyrocketed. I think that they were a little too late to the party with Disney Plus, frankly. I think that was a huge problem for them. And I think the movie industry and Hollywood in general took an absolute bloodbath during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think the Ron DeSantis situation in Florida, I think is a huge problem for Disney profits, because there's a large sect of that state that follows Ron DeSantis and a large sect of that state that supports Disney, because Disney created a lot of jobs. And I think that ecosystem is not been friendly. And if they have to move that situation or close that situation or not make, because certainly I don't think there's any doubt that Disney's not going to make the money they were hoping to make there, because they just shut down $1 billion development.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. But I also think that Hulu has been a massive drag. It's their entertainment and parks division that has really hurt them. And I think they've openly talked about it at ESPN, that ESPN has been what's right with Disney.
Yeah.
ESPN has not been, and I don't know why there's such a perception that ESPN is a drag on the bottom line at Disney. Like, I would love to know where that started. Were they at one time?
Well, the layoffs is where it started.
But were they at one time? Yes, they were. Was Disney and ESPN specifically slow to assimilate to the digital, streamings? Absolutely. Disney and ESPN specifically were woefully behind at one point. But not only are they not behind, now they're way ahead of the curve. Nobody watches CBS Sports on stream. Nobody watches, like, if you look at where you go to get every major event, there's only one place, and that's ESPN. ABC, ESPN.com, and the ESPN app, period. And if you go to ABC.com or ABCnews.com, where do they link all their stories to? Well, they link them to ESPN. Hey, by the way, huge UFC fight this weekend. Where's the only place to get it? ESPN.com.
How about that?
ESPN Plus. Anybody lost on the fact that UFC and WWE are now one company through Endeavor? And guess who owns the rights to the UFC? Well, ESPN. So who do you think is going to own the rights to pay for pay-per-view for WrestleMania and SummerSlam? And, well, it only makes sense that would be at ESPN. And that negotiation's happening as we speak. By the way, did anybody notice Pat McAfee just did a deal? Who does Pat McAfee work for? Well, Pat McAfee works for ESPN. Who's his other significant employer? Yeah, the WWE. Like, you guys, you have to think, you have to look at the landscape.
Yeah.
And understand that, and I'm going to guess that there's anti-ESPN sentiment. I'm sure there is. But just because you hate ESPN doesn't mean they're struggling.
Yeah.
Just because you hate ESPN doesn't mean they're bad at what they do, because they're not. They're not bad at what they do at all. There is nobody in this business that produces live sports better than ESPN and ABC.
Agreed.
Nobody.
Agreed.
And you don't have to like that, but you can't disagree with it, because they're the industry standard.
Facts.
You look at, and one of the things that I think is so fascinating about this Pac-12 situation, ESPN and the Pac-12, if you believe the people in the world, oh, ESPN and Pac-12, they hate each other. They're done. But is that why ESPN and the Pac-12 for this coming season are developing unique on-field opportunities for broadcasts like player interviews, coaches interviews, cameras in the huddle, cameras in the locker room, cameras at practice, docuseries. Like, their relationship is not broken or burned to the ground. They're simply trying to make a business deal.
Yep.
That's very different than, hey, screw you, we're not going to do anything with your broadcast. Because they have a relationship. I'm not telling you it's a good relationship, but it is certainly operational. You have to connect the dots on some level to understand these guys compartmentalize so much stuff. You look at this gambling situation in the NFL. Did you guys hear about this? The NFL is opening up more investigations into gambling. And if you look at their TV partners, which one of their TV partners at the NFL really pushes gambling? ESPN. Mm-hmm. But do you think the NFL is going to cut ties with ESPN and ABC? There's not a chance in the world that that's going to happen. Not a chance in the world.
Nope.
Because you have NFL Live, you have all of the one-off NFL programming, you have Monday Night Football, you have like Sunday NFL Countdown. Like, you have all of this entire week. You have Greeny on ESPN TV, ESPN Radio. What does all he do? All he does is talk football. What does Pat McAfee do? All he does is talk football.
Well, think about it. I mean, ESPN, I mean, you made that point about UFC and WWE.
Yeah.
Who provides? Who's the official provider of ESPN's odds on every single sporting event on their website? Caesars Sportsbook. Right? So, UFC, Las Vegas, ESPN, Pat McAfee, WWE, NFL, like Oakland A's, Las Vegas A's.
Las
right?
Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders, right? Like, hey, by the way, Sunday Night Baseball, new team in Vegas. Like, so you can see how all these circles kind of run together.
Are the Las Vegas Golden Knights any good? Oh, that's right. They're up 2-0 in their series.
By the way, who has the hockey contract now? Oh,
ESPN.
That's right, ESPN.
So anyway, the point is, the narrative of, well, ESPN is really dragging Disney down. That just means whoever is saying that doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Period. Vorlon Angel is a member of the program. He's a member.
Baby.
Let's go, Vorlon Angel.
First one in and a member now? Wow.
Let's go. Welcome, Vorlon Angel, to the club. Let's go. Love that, Vorlon. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Look at that huge comment dump. Mike Maples. What's up, Mapes? The Star Wars Hotel was a massive overreach, 6,000 for 2 days. Really? Yeah. Well, and he's talking about Disney closing down the Star Wars Hotel in Orlando, which I agree was way too expensive.
Yeah.
But Disney, so in this, if you guys don't know this, and I'm not interested in Ron DeSantis anti-positive, like, it just doesn't matter. Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida.
Right.
He is, one of his main targets has been Disney. He wants to, and he tried to eliminate Disney's tax shelter by removing their district designation for the land that they operate Disney World on.
Yeah.
To which Disney went back and did some stuff with the board and was able to extend that. And then Disney said, okay, because DeSantis came back at them and put on a full anti-PR blitz. And so Disney said, oh, okay, in a state where people are struggling to make a living, we're going to put a hiring freeze in, and we are not going to develop a major entertainment corridor that would have supplied thousands of jobs for Floridians.
Okay, so that's how it's going to be.
And we're going to close the Star Wars Hotel. Now, I agree with Mapes. $6,000 was the pricing was ridiculous, and it wasn't making them money because all kinds of stuff. But this situation in Florida, it has become a problem for both the state of Florida and for Disney. The idea that you're fighting Disney World, which is a major tourist attraction, domestically and internationally. People come to Orlando simply to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
All the time. I did it as a kid. We made the pilgrimage, drove cross country to Disney World. Epcot is something I will never forget. But that's all going away now because the governor of Florida and Disney World are fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a major problem for both sides. Major problem.
But that doesn't mean that ESPN is struggling.
What? Okay. Raider Mark, that is why Disney restructured their business, separating ESPN out as a standalone division. ESPN, ABC. So what he's talking about there, Disney really made business units is what they did. And they put their entertainment and their theme parks and TV and sports and they said, okay, business unit A, here's your dollars, B, C, D. And so the idea of ESPN and ABC and Disney being more pragmatic with their rights fees was a significant part of that.
Yeah.
Because ESPN, as a business unit, it does not have financial limitations. You look at they're going to pay the NBA between $4 and $5 billion a year. And I'd remind you,
a wild number.
For people who think that ESPN sucks so bad that the NBA has essentially said, oh, yeah, you guys, we're renewing with you guys. It's just a matter for how much. Bro, you're in. You're my guy. Like,
I need Mike Breen on Channel 4 more often.
Bang!
Thank you.
Right? Like,
Thank
but
you.
that's my point. And Mapes and Raider Mark and everybody else, like, you're exactly right. Like, it's a business. So Kirk Schultz, the president up at Washington State the other week, saying, well, you know, we'd have a deal done with these MFers, but, you know, optics are terrible. And then like 2 days later, Pat McAfee got a $150 million deal, according to some reports.
Keep it real.
From ESPN and Disney, who he said.
But optics.
Optics. My mom.
Optics.
Bladder control.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Optics. Come on.
Right? So you just have to understand how these deals are put together and where it is not a matter of, you know, oh, and we just got to pull the right levers. That's not it. ESPN does not, by business decision, overpay for something that is not valuable. Because I would remind you, any savvy businessman will tell you, you never negotiate against yourself.
Nope.
And you certainly do not overpay when you're negotiating against yourself.
Well, and I feel like with ESPN, not only do they not overpay, they're looking for prime opportunities to be extremely profitable in these divisions. So, like with the Pac-12, this is why the Kirk Schultz thing was such a embarrassing take. With all due respect to Kirk, like, it's not personal, but that was a dumb thing to say because, again, for ESPN, I almost feel like it's, hey, does 1 + 2 = 5 for us? Hey, like, dude, like, if we're spending $1, we make it 5 on it. Like, no, not with the Pac-12. No, you're not. Like, you're not.
Yep, I agree. Dale Donut says 95% of Disney cast members in Florida support the governor. Who cares?
Who cares?
Different show, dude. Like, it doesn't.
We're not talking about cast members playing Chewbacca, bro.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Saul Goodman, everyone is eating like crows. ESPN, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. Well, and NBC is a very interesting one.
Yeah.
I remember, again, that I told you this at 2:58 Pacific, 5:58 Eastern time on May 22nd. That $110 million price tag for one NFL playoff game.
Ridiculous.
To stream on Peacock, which is NBC's streaming apparatus.
Yeah.
$110 million. That may have been the moment the Pac-12 died. If you look at in the grand scheme, the totality of ESPN negotiations, CWs, Ions, like all these people.
Yeah.
The one deal that we told you many months ago was the deal that had legs was NBC Universal, USA Network, the home of Pac-12 football.
Yeah.
Peacock, shoulder programming with Big Ten. Like, I mean, it made total sense. Notre Dame followed by Oregon and Washington. Like, made total sense.
Synergy, bro.
Total sense.
Yeah.
Late game Pac-12 on Peacock. Made total sense.
You have a deal.
And then the NFL said, hey, NBC, why don't you stream this game on Peacock for $110 million?
What you want me to say to them?
Yeah, let me pay you $110 million for your cock.
Dude.
I just said, let me pay $100.
His cock.
Have we lost the ability to laugh at penis jokes on this show?
His cock.
I mean, J.K. Marshall just left the show, apparently. So, apparently we have.
What happened? J.K. Marshall, okay, I've heard enough, I'm out. Okay.
Hang on, wait, don't go to the next comment. Can you read that one more time, please?
Okay, J.K. Marshall, okay, I've heard enough, I'm out.
Boom. Out of here.
Yeah. What could I have possibly said today that pissed you off?
Ain't ducking, no smoke.
Of all of the shows I've done, of all of the things we've talked about.
We're not talking about Tucker today, okay?
What
Chill out.
today could I have said that pissed you off to the point where you're like, you know what, dude, that's it, done, boom, out of here.
Yeah.
Boom. Out of here.
Of all days, was it the Taco Grande pizza?
Hi, I'm Kylie, and I make fresh, delicious Papa Murphy's pizza.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I make the Papa Murphy's pizza.
Sure, that's take and bake. We built it with the freshest ingredients. You bake it fresh in your oven.
By you mean me, so technically, I make the pizza.
Super good pizza, Kylie. Oh, Kylie, so good.
Right now, enjoy big-time taco flavors on a pizza with the limited-time Taco Grande. Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
You're so unable. This is amazing to me that you haven't had the marinara meatball yet at Papa Murphy's Pizza.
Do you view this season as a failure?
How have you not had it yet?
I'll get to that in a second. Marinara meatball is amazing. Mrs. Monty, my God, this woman, my queen. This girl just cooks her ass off.
Is that what you guys are calling it now?
Anyway, the point is, but I'm telling you, the marinara meat, my wife, I don't know how she does it, but she'll cook something. I'll be like, God damn, that's the best thing you've ever made. She made pasta over the weekend. That was unbelievable. And I'm talking like rigatoni pasta.
Rigatoni.
You can go to Pete. Well, you can't. You go to Pete's Coffee and get rigatoni. There's a coffee shop that serves rigatoni pasta. I can't remember. Anyway, the point is, she made the best rigatoni pasta over the weekend. Put some marinara meatball in there, man. See, Papa Murphy's is not just about pizza. The pizza's bomb. Original crust, barbecue sauce. Pile all your stuff on top. But make sure you get the marinara meatball. It's life-changing.
Bomb, dude.
Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show, presented by The Advocates, the best injury attorneys in the business. The Advocates at UtahAdvocates.com. TheAdvocates.com. You guys, no matter where you are, we have seen crazy weather from rain and tornadoes recently, all the flooding here in the great state of Utah. If you guys have had an accident, if you've been on a car, a bike, I've seen so many cyclists on the road. It's a dangerous time of year to be a driver, to be a bicyclist, to be on your motorcycle. Please, the Advocates remind you, put on a helmet, be safe out there. But if the very worst happens and you're in an accident, you've got to have an attorney. Your insurance companies have thousands of attorneys. Why don't you have the very best representation that costs you absolutely nothing out of your own pocket, because you don't pay the Advocates until they win your case? Talk to an attorney free online. And by the way, if you've gotten hurt at work and you're wondering, hey, do I need an attorney? Yes. Hey, my boss said he's going to take care of me. Hey, they're covering my medical, but trust me, no attorney that works for your employer, your auto insurance company, your motorcycle insurance company, their job is to make sure their shareholders, their board of directors, their coffers keep as much money as possible. The Advocates are not only going to get you what you need, but what you deserve. You need an advocate. Let them fight for you. TheAdvocates.com, UtahAdvocates.com on the Monty Show. Real quick. Real quick. Dudes, on this Ron DeSantis thing, can we for once, and I'm being serious, you guys, for once, can we please not argue over politics? We're talking about ESPN and Disney and their struggles to be profitable. And a lot of it is the Disney World situation in Florida. It's not an indictment against Ron DeSantis. It's not a political conversation. So when you guys melt down because I farted in the direction of politics that were on a TV screen, stop. We have to be better than that. We have to be better than that. Marlon Shaw gives us $10. Hello, Marlon. Thank you. Got to pour a little salt in the wound. On my way to watch my Florida Everblades attempt to go 3-0 up in the Eastern Conference Finals of the ECHL playoffs, hoping for a matchup with Idaho to attend the final game in Idaho.
Boom. Out of here. You're filling in for somebody.
How do we block Marlon? No, it doesn't. Listen.
How dare you?
Marlon, please.
The Idaho Steelheads are a very good club. It's a good organization. They have Idaho Central Arena is a great place to watch a hockey game, Marlon.
Grizzlies are better, dude.
Grizzlies are a better team. Grizzlies are a better organization. Just saying. Mike Maple says politics are mid.
Agreed.
Exactly.
People just get so pissy about it. It's like,
dumb.
dude, we're talking about ESPN here.
Nate B says barbecue pizza with extra pineapple. Throw on a handful of...
Okay, so you lost me,
Why
dude.
throw on a handful of olives?
Dude, why would you do that?
Why? Barbecue or pineapple on pizza is an abomination, Nick. No, it's not. Barbecue sauce on pizza?
Dude, barbecue sauce with barbecue chicken and pineapple. Thank me later.
You'll never go back. You will never go back. Michael Peck. Barbecue on pizza is disgusting. I don't know how you guys can eat that abomination.
Wow. How did we get started on barbecue pizza?
Because I said barbecue sauce on your pizza, then pile everything on top of it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know. Love Sports says, Taylor, do you miss when ESPN used to air Australian rules football? It was so different. I was watching rugby over the weekend. You know, it's okay. Clint Mose says, go Beavs. Anything that's good for Beavers. You know. Brandon Butler. What's up, Brandon? The Disney thing was it getting run into the ground by the guy prior to Iger. They fired the CEO to bring back a guy because they were losing money. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I don't even think it's arguable that the pandemic absolutely devastated Disney.
Well, it makes sense, right? I mean, it's not rocket science.
I don't know that any CEO, very few CEOs could have guided a company the size of Disney through the inability to operate your theme parks. I mean, it's a massive amount of income for you. It's a massive amount of revenue that you'll never replace or get back.
Yeah.
The inability to show motion pictures in theaters, you'll never get that back.
Yeah.
Never. And you look at what Top Gun the movie went through just to film and release that movie. My God. I mean,
hell of a movie though.
Dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Spangler, what's up, my guy? I only engage in the politics of the Dune universe. Exactly.
The Dune.
Exactly right. Nick M., are you guys ready for this one? Pack is Sofa King We Todd Ed. Okay.
You guys remember when that was hot?
Yes. Kyle A., who do you guys got tonight? Carolina or Florida? Florida has are we allowed to talk about Florida because
what are you talking about,
I don't want
man?
to piss anybody off.
Can you not kick another person out, please?
I'm telling you that Florida is a better team. And that Kachuk goal the other night, if you guys missed it in the Stanley Cup playoffs, to be up 2-0 coming home. Florida.
Right.
To be up 2-0 coming home. By the way, anybody notice that South Florida is kind of on a roll sports-wise right now? You got the Florida Panthers.
You better say his name right.
And Jimmy Butler in the Heat.
That's right. That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Screw Boston.
How about the Heat? We'll talk a lot about that coming up an hour from now. Taylor Smith, I mean, absolutely hurtful to say that hot dog is a sandwich because Jake is going to start crying. I'm telling you, man, hot dogs are sandwiches.
No, they're not.
There's just no doubt about that.
No, they're not.
Two master says pineapple is the Kevin Warren of toppings. Wow. See, and you know what? Two masters. Here's
the problem. What he did there? So his reference means, hey, they shouldn't be there because Kevin Warren left. So, hey, see what he did there?
No, that's not what he did there. He said that you had no authorization to put those toppings on the pizza.
Okay, you could take that angle too.
And by the way, Two Masters, do you have to bring up hurtful stuff like the name Kevin Warren, who's going to, he's the president of the Chicago Bears?
Look at me.
Yeah, he's now in charge of making larger piles of dung at a racetrack.
It's not going to be good. Day-old donuts. Carolina, I still have them winning that series. Well, I know I would bet you, but I owe Teddy Wayman a steak now because the Lakers are dead. Eric and Raleigh, how the heck are you, my guy? I'm taking the video replay official in tonight's hockey game. Exactly. But that series, you guys, Florida and Carolina has been remarkable. I should probably stop saying it that way. But Florida and Carolina has been an unbelievable series. Yeah. It really has. Roger Abbott, barbecue on pizza is good. People that put pineapple on pizza should be tried at Nuremberg. Not going to say you're right. You know. Jimmy Otson, Ron DeSantis was a man. Okay. Why? Why start trouble? Mike Maples, no, I got to move on, Mike. No pineapple on pizza, it ruins the crust.
No, it doesn't. See, this is why you go to Papa Murphy's Pizza, because their pineapple isn't all soggy and everything. They squeeze the juice out of it, then they put it on the pizza so it doesn't make your crust all soggy. It's not rocket science.
If you guys have not found the greatness of Papa Murphy's Pizza, not good. Capazzo! Hey! Capazzo!
We've been to Super Chicks yet.
Monty, you ask why why on olives? It's because they are the best fruit in the world.
No, they're not. No.
I kill the olive grower.
Yeah, we're not doing that, dude. Like I'm not.
No, I'm not doing that.
Maury, our former favorite Floridian, black olives are the bomb. Digging it is like a bee bomb for Super Mario.
You're out of your freaking mind.
No, I'm not doing it.
Taylor Smith, Pac needs to part ways with Espen. Go all in on Apple.
Yeah, how'd that work out for MLS?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, oh fair injured golfer.
Because it's garbage.
My ribs hurt. Shut up.
Fat.
Anyway, Jake hurt his ribs golfing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I pulled a diaphragm muscle. Wow.
So, what do you? Here's a question for all of you football streaming fans. Where do you guys come down on Apple and the success?
I thought that was going a different direction.
You thought wrong. Where do you guys come down on Apple and the success or failure of the MLS deal? Because I thought it was very interesting that I actually got you guys get crazy. Get crazy. I got an MLS alert on my iPhone.
Holy cow, it happened.
In the middle of the MLS season, they're offering you a free month of MLS Pass. Wait a minute, let me get this right. You're giving us a free month of MLS games in the middle of the season. Is that because you are hoping that I won't turn it off and I'll start paying? Am I the only one? And I'm probably a cynic about this. That seems so desperate to me. That'd be like MLB or Center Ice or League Pass or Sunday Ticket. Being like, hey, you know what? Listen, here at the NFL, why don't you guys watch our games for free on Sunday Ticket? For like a month. In the middle of the season.
A month. That's a lot of games.
A month. Like, I think this is incredibly indicative of the struggle. And we have been telling you, we've been talking to people about that MLS deal and trying to figure it out. Hey, are they doing well? Are they not doing well? And we were told that there was a rebate that MLS is going to have to pay to Apple because they are far, according to our sources, below the barrier for subscriptions, new subscriptions.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is, and I think we reported this a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
All those T-Mobile free subscriptions.
They don't make money on those.
They don't count. They don't count. Because that's a deal through T-Mobile where they're like, yeah, get it for free. That doesn't count. So all of those people, all those MLS fans that went to T-Mobile, yeah, that did nothing for MLS or Apple TV. So where do you guys come down on this deal with MLS and Apple TV? I think it's been a complete failure. I could be wrong. I think it's been a complete failure. There's a ton of heartburn on it. Now it's year one. So maybe saying it's a complete failure is strong. that deal is in serious doubt.
I just don't think you've seen the explosion that you were hoping for. I think MLS thought that they were going to go all in on Apple and, because everyone and their mom has an iPhone that everyone would watch. And it's like, no, dude. And again, I'll keep making this point till I'm dead on the hill, I guess. But you have to be relevant. Like, it doesn't matter where your game is. If you're not relevant, people aren't going to watch. And so, quite literally, I mean, maybe it's a stretch, but even if you were offering the product for free, if it's somewhere where you have to have a certain this or certain that, people are not going to go out of their way to watch it because it's not relevant.
I think it's a huge question, and I'm really concerned for MLS because I'm a huge soccer fan. Like I am a Chelsea Football Club fan. I am a passionate supporter of the club. I would love to see MLS soccer thrive in this country. I think they are. I don't know. I don't want to be too strong here. Mm-hmm. I think they are overextended. I love San Diego. Wales, Regina, you're my guy. Like, I love San Diego. I do. If I could afford to live there, and I've said this on the show before, I'd live in San Diego. I believe that you are overextended by MLS is overextended by all this expansion.
Yeah.
And I understand why St. Louis was an important market and totally get it. Totally get it. Did you really need San Diego with 2 teams in Los Angeles? And not 2 small clubs. LAFC obviously is a juggernaut in this league right now, but
yeah,
did you really need San Diego? I worry about the viability of MLS with all of these expansion clubs. Do you need more than 30 clubs in MLS?
No.
And then you get to Apple TV, and I'm like, is Apple TV ever going to make money on this deal?
No.
I think it's been terrible for MLS because I think it has cut their reach. And I'm a big believer that your TV and media rights are all about how many eyeballs and how much reach you can get on it.
Yep.
And I think this MLS thing for Apple and for MLS has been an abject failure in that regard.
Yeah, it's incredibly limited.
And until that changes, and listen, you're 29 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen any MLS in the last? How much MLS do you think you've seen? And let's say the last 5 years. Have you seen a full MLS match in the last 5 years?
No. Highlights on SportsCenter when they happen.
What will it take to get you there?
I don't know. I mean, that's a difficult question. I think what would it take? I think I need more than just, hey, the game's on. Like, I need more. I don't follow the sport. I don't it's not in my day-to-day. College football is in my day-to-day. I would say Major League Baseball is not even in my day-to-day right now. Like, this is a college football show, an NBA show, an NFL show. Occasionally, we'll talk some hockey or some golf maybe. But overall, we do college football. So for me, my job is 24/7, really. So I'm not going to spend time with the free time I have trying to pull up some MLS package. I'm just not. That's not my the way I would go about it. So for me, I'm sitting here saying, okay, what would it take? I would need a docuseries. I would need something that allows me to get invested in the sport. I think MLS should model their path the way F1 has built up their following in the United States, which is you need to invest in a platform and you need to market the hell out of it. So what did F1 do? Hey, F1 was on Sky Sports for a long time, and I'm sure overseas they still are. But where is F1 now in the States? It's on ESPN. So how did they get there? Hey, we're going to put a couple races a year on ESPN, our biggest races, right? And then as those races come up, we are going to promote the hell out of them for weeks on end. And we're going to heavily just water that plant. That's what I think you have to do to grow your brand when you're competing with brands like the NFL, when you're competing with the NBA. It's not good enough just to say, oh, well, hey, the Portland Timbers are on today. Man, that's really exciting, guys. And I'm sure... I am as sure as ever that it's a ton of fun, and I am looking forward to going to the RSL game on June 10th against NYFC. Super looking forward to that, but on TV, because that's the conversation we're having. On TV or consuming it on my phone, let's say, I don't know what it would take outside of giving me more detail.
I think that's interesting, and I think it's a very interesting relation to the Pac-12. Speaking of June 10th, RSL versus NYFC, presented by our good friends at Big O Tires and American Fork. Hey, listen, we have had a lot of people going to Big O Tires and American Fork. We had 2 spots left, but a couple of our guys who went to Big O Tires said, hey, by the way, one guy had a fishing trip. Like, I understand people have summer plans, so we now not have 2. We have 5 spots left for you to qualify to join us at America First Field to see RSL and NYFC. It's in the ZAG Club, which means you get all the food and drink you want, alcohol not included, but you get a gourmet buffet, all the drink you want. You get VIP entry, VIP parking, tickets to the game. Oh, by the way, you also get an on-field experience. Before the game, you get to watch warm-ups on the field. It is going to be a tremendous, tremendous evening of fun. You get to hang out with us. You get a collector's edition T-shirt from the Monty Show as part of that. It is going to be off the flippin' hook, and it's all presented by our good friends at Big O Tires and American Fork. All you have to do to guarantee your spot, go into American Fork, Big O Tires, get an oil change, get your tires rotated, get your fluids topped off, buy new tires. You get a set of tires, absolutely, you're in like Flint, you're going to the game with us. Get an oil change, absolutely, you're in. You're going to the game with us. Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay, well, you can also go to any Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road or Super Chicks in St. George, because we've grown our listenership in St. George so much. You guys are amazing down south. I know you're always hot. Everybody down there's like, hey, Monty, when you're coming down to golf, bro?
Hey, Monty.
Hey, bro, let's golf together. Well, it's hot. And we're going to go to Mesquite, so we should all meet in Mesquite, but that's a different day. Anyway, my point is, if you'd like to come up to RSL versus NYFC, you can go to Super Chicks in St. George or Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden. All you have to do is order some food, shoot a picture, tag us on social media, done. You're qualified to get in. We are going to pick, of the 5 spots we have left, 5 spots.
Yeah.
A week from Friday, June 2nd.
June 2nd, yes.
We are going to announce
this Friday, next Friday.
All 12 entrants, all of the people that are going to the game with us, June 2nd, right here on the show. And by the way, if you're somebody that went to Big O Tires and you bought something, you know you're in. You know you're in already. If you're somebody that went to Super Chicks, you know you're qualified already. If you have not gone to Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden or in St. George, get in there. There's no reason not to hop in there, get qualified. You have a week to do that. You have a week to do that. Or go to Big O Tires in American Fork. Hook it up because we want to hang out with you for RSL and NYFC on June 10th at America First Field. And it's all presented by our good friends at Big O Tires and American Fork. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Let's see. What's everybody saying? Al Bundy, Super Chicks is in Dallas just closed. Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. But we like that you listen to the show in Dallas. Truck Stop Gumby. Hey, Monty. What's up, Truck Stop Gumby? I like it. Let's see. Capazzo says, Monty, I would take you all shooting, but it's a bad day when you put a golf club in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Trust me.
I like how everyone's like, hey, I can't golf. Do you think we can golf? Do you think that the average Joe can actually golf? That's not the point, dude.
I promise you, and we're going to talk about this next hour on the show as well. All I'm asking to do for golf, I just want to be have a chance to birdie every hole I play. That's it. And right now, Saturday was a much better outcome for me. We played the back nine up at Glenmore in South Jordan. Shot a 47. I'm getting there. Taking a lesson tonight. I'm getting there. There will be a golf vlog on the channel probably in the next couple of days off that lesson. There are golfed really well Saturday. Played like crap yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. You know.
Because it's garbage.
It was terrible.
Not good.
Cougar Tracks. Soccer and golf are fun to play, not so fun to watch. I love watching golf.
Okay, one caveat, though. Okay, I disagree on the golf front. Love watching golf. Huge fan over the weekend and what we saw, and we'll get to that. Soccer, there is a caveat. Again, MLS, to me, is not that entertaining. EPL, very entertaining.
Yeah, I think EPL is outstanding.
Dude, Champions League, very entertaining. I'm not even a big FA Cup guy, but Champions League and English Premier League, good to go.
Yeah, I don't... Do you guys really not watch golf? I would be stunned by that. Well, G says NYCFC. Get the name right. Well, I'm an asshole. What do you want?
Doesn't it say on the website? I'm going to pull this up for you just to show you what it looks like.
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting it wrong the whole time. I thought it was NYFC. My bad. NYCFC. I don't know. If I was wrong, geez Louise. Everybody gets so sensitive. Mike Maples, Jim, it's the greatest chicken sandwich shop ever. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is amazing. What did Jim Choi say? Wow, comment dump. By the way, you guys are flipping awesome. Thank you so much for all of your comments. Jim Choi says, what the heck is Super Chicks? The greatest chicken sandwich ever.
You might be the biggest chicken sandwich casual I've ever heard.
Stop with
Let's
this
go,
argument.
Drew. Let's go, Drew. That's my guy.
First of all, Drew, whatever hallucinogen you're on, if you're smoking ayahuasca, I know it's a tea. I get it. You drink it. If you're smoking ayahuasca to say Bacavo is way better than the deluxe, stop it. Listen. You go to see my friends at Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden or in St. George. Hey, you tell them you heard about it on the Monty show.
Hey, Monty.
But don't degrade yourself by ordering a Bacavo. It's a really good sandwich. I'm just being an a-hole.
Yeah.
Jake
We get it. Yeah.
It basically is a chicken sandwich with avocado.
A chicken sando.
What is on the Bacavo? It's bacon, avocado, and chicken, right?
Avocado, and fried chicken.
It's
phenomenal.
Can
get it grilled if you would like.
It's phenomenal. Jimmy says PGA Championship was great this weekend. Tiger-sized roars.
Dude.
Stick around. We're going to have that conversation. Hey, Salty Drunk. What's up, my American family?
Up,
Salty, good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well down under. Mape says, Jim, it's the greatest chicken sandwich shop ever. Yes, it is. Greg Romano, is it a big deal to break 90 in golf? It is.
It is, as an amateur.
On 18 holes. 90 on 18 is actually really good.
90 on 9 is not good, just so you know.
That'd be 10 shots a hole. But if you shoot, in all seriousness, depending on the course, of course, and the difficulty of it, you play 18 and shoot 90, that's awesome. Brandon says, good morning, Salty Drunk. Let's see. Raider Mark says, I wonder which major sports reporter gets the Pac-12 team leaving scoop.
Well,
won't be us. I doubt. I'm not even trying for that. Truck Stop Gumby says, I used to watch golf, Tiger versus Phil. Yeah, it was amazing. Stop, Richard. Nobody cares about Carlsbad. Dude, overcast in 67.
Yeah, try overcast in like 95 here.
Dude, it is so. I hate humidity. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was like, dude, I'd live in Miami. And she's like, dude, we'll sweat to death. I couldn't do it. Nate B, no, we don't watch golf. That's for old men like Monty. Nate?
Bro, Nate, that's offensive, dog.
CJ Vance, yes, sir. Golf, what a great time. Even if you aren't good like myself, can sink some long putts every once in a while. But that's basically
it. That's what I'm saying, dude. Golf is a fun sport.
And I'm really learning to play now. Like I played 9 on Sunday, and it was one of the worst rounds I've ever played. I shot a 41. Could not control my driver. But, dude, my 7-iron, stiffy on 7.
Okay, did you just say stiffy on 7? Dude, what are you... This is a family program, bro.
I did.
Stiffy?
But you know the thing that drives me crazy about golf? I'll drive well, but then I can't hit irons. I'll hit irons really well, but then I can't chip. Like, it drives me crazy.
It is what it is.
Nick M says, golf is nice to have on TV when I take a nap. Ooh, ouch. C. Kaufman, I can't watch golf. I work on those days. Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you on that. Ever play Top Golf, Monty? All the time, Mike.
Yeah.
My wife is bucking for a Top Golf night, which we will probably do soon. Renee Roca, I love watching soccer, but not MLS. I don't watch golf. I put the Masters on in the background. Golf in the background is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I actually, when I'm not home, I leave golf on for the dogs. That's how I know my dogs like to golf. Mexican, Brazilian, and Argentinian soccer leagues are the best on this side of the ocean. I am telling you, if you guys do not know about the La Liga racism story,
dude,
and you wonder why so many guys are trying to get out of La Liga, it's brutal. Raider Mark, the hole-in-one shot at the PGA Championship was awesome. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, because I swear, where is it? Jake hates all good things. and he's tired of the Mike Block story. So if you don't know the story, Mike Block, and I can't show you the highlight because it's not licensed,
right?
Owned by CBS.
Yeah.
Mike Block is a club pro in Mission Viejo, California.
Mm-hmm.
And that essentially means he gives lessons at his club, and he is a member of the PGA of America, plays a bunch of golf. Guy, good teacher. You know, I know a ton of club pros.
Our boy Darren.
Darren Ingram up at Canyons Golf, yes. But Mike Block went to the PGA Championship and booked airfare for 10 a.m. on Saturday to go back home. What does that mean? Well, he thought he was going to miss the cut. Yeah, he finished 15th. And he earned $283,333 doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really good story. He got invited to this weekend's tournament. He has an automatic invite to next year's PGA Championship. Will not have to qualify. Like, really good story. First thing that we flip on the TV in the studio this morning about 7:45, 7:50. And it happened to be a highlight of Mike Block hitting a hole-in-one yesterday at the PGA Championship. And Jake's like, I'm so tired of this story. Can we move on already? I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? He's like, I just want to find a puppy to kick. I hate all good things.
Here I am.
Why did you hate this story so much?
I'm just like, dude, like, did Buddy win the tournament?
Yeah, essentially.
No.
A guy who doesn't play on the tour.
I get it. It's a nice story. He's a teacher. You finished 15th.
It's
that's
unheard
great.
of.
Okay, that's neat. It's unheard of. Great. I love it. Awesome. Talk about it on Sunday. I don't want to see 50 highlights and Twitter. Like, it's like Carmelo Anthony thing today. My entire Twitter feed is Carmelo Anthony.
But, guy, it's a hole-in-one at the PGA Championship, and you don't want to hear about it?
I don't want to hear about it forever. I don't want to hear about it for endless, dude. Jesus.
Whoa, homie. It wasn't even 24 hours. It was a hole-in-one at the PGA Championship by a club pro, not by a PGA professional, not by a they cut people's heads off professional, by a club pro who was playing with Rory McIlroy on Sunday at the PGA Championship. Finished 15th in the tournament. Won $283,000 or $288,000. You know, I'm done with this story.
Notice I'm not saying I don't like the story. I'm not saying that. Hole-in-one in golf is great. That's awesome.
Okay.
Brooks Koepka should be the story. That should be the conversation.
Yeah.
The guy comes in and only plays majors and dominates majors. He dominates you. Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, you should be embarrassed by your performance. More Justin Thomas than Jordan Spieth because Spieth was injured.
By the way, Monty makes you money.
Yeah, whatever, dude. This is you cannot take credit for it.
I said I've got two guys at the PGA
You don't get
Championship.
to have two.
It's Jordan Spieth. I even said on the show, it's Jordan Spieth, but he's got this wrist thing. So, you know, I would say Jordan or Brooks Koepka is going to win the tournament. And Jake's like, that doesn't count, bro. You don't get two. You know, I know you eat 2 Twinkies. Probably should eat 1. So,
Dude.
You don't get credit, fatty.
Fat.
And I'm just like, dude, yeah, I do get credit.
Okay.
After what LeBron did to my steak portfolio, I get credit.
Of course, I understand why people are upset.
Jeez. Dude, you don't miss Lake Michigan's July swampiness? Not at all.
Nah.
Not at all.
Nah.
No. Fat Jesus, what's up, my guy? Jake, I get it. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points, whatever.
But, like, okay, I understand that, right? Like, that's a record that's never going to be broken. There will be more hole-in-ones. There will be, like...
By a PGA club professional at a major tournament when he's on Sunday. On Thursday, sure, maybe. Friday, that could happen. Saturday, never. Sunday, probably never, ever again will we see a PGA club professional hit a hole-in-one with Rory McIlroy hugging him and saying, hey, you're the best. Way to go. Come on, man.
It's a nice story.
Okay. Flowers wilt when Jake shows up. Jake doesn't say he hates it with his words, but everything else on him is screaming, who the fook is that guy?
Yeah, like, cool, man. Cool. It's a nice story. It gives us an excuse not to talk about another live guy beating your ass at a tournament. Like...
Fat Jesus, Jake, I get it. This guy cured cancer. Can we get on with it?
Like, dude, can we move along? Can we dude hit a hole in one? Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah.
I get it, Sports Center. That's got to be your top play for like the next 50 years.
Come
I understand.
on. This asshole cured cancer. We get it. Get him out of here. Moving on.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Dude, like, damn.
It's not like he got a hole in one at the PGA. Get him out of here.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, fat
saying,
Jesus. Man. Sean Mierzinski, he said this was his first hole in one in a tournament ever on Sunday at the PGA.
Notice I'm not saying it's a bad story.
BFD, who cares?
I'm not saying it's a bad story.
You're just tired of it already after
I'm
one
over
day.
it. I'm over it.
It's about 24 hours old right now.
Brooks Koepka getting a complete pass. Complete pass.
Willie Wilson. Tiger Woods will participate in another tournament before Jordan Spieth wins another tournament. Ouch. Yeah, he probably
like
will.
I don't understand the block thing. That gives us an excuse not to talk about Spieth, not to talk about Justin Thomas, not to talk about all these guys who still have not lived up to Tiger, man.
Jake, this guy hits a hole in one. Unless he followed that up with a breakup text to his girlfriend, it doesn't matter.
You're right. You're right, dude. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right, dude.
Oh,
yep.
You're that kind of guy, too. Jake's the kind of guy that's like, hey, man, I graduated from college with a 4.0. Everything was perfect. Yeah, but you're fat. So get out of here.
Yeah.
Jake, you're that type of guy. You'll always find rain on a sunny day. Brady Cook, Jake, go hit a hole in one and then tell me how you feel after. Exactly right.
Again, I guess maybe
we chest bumped on a chip in for you.
I guess maybe like people are misunderstanding what I'm saying. It's a nice story. It is.
Yeah, but I'm done with it now.
I'm tired of it, dude. It's all over Twitter. It's all over TV.
This guy, he hit a hole in one. It's not like he's the youth girls softball team going on to the Super Regionals.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you're annoyed? He is annoyed right now. Why are you upset?
I don't know what would give you that idea.
Okay. We chest bumped on your chip in.
I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate it. I feel like people miss the point completely. Missing the point completely. Like 100% missing the point.
Fat Jesus. In this moment, Jake feels like Tanner. We love you, Jake.
No, I don't. I'm not going to be a victim who makes excuses as to why they don't want to go to RSL.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good Lord. Now he's really upset.
I'm just saying, like, I wish people would understand, like, the point of it, which is, hey, I love it, dude. You're a tour professional. Like, you're not like tour professionals don't get that kind of opportunity. Like, it's a great story.
He's not no. Understand, he's not a tour professional.
Yeah, a teaching
pro.
Teaching
professional. Yes. He's a PGA club professional.
Yes, he teaches people.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
He teaches people. But my point is I'm getting tired of Twitter. That's the problem. I'm getting tired of it. It serves no purpose, and all I see is a retread on every single news story. That's all it is. Like, and Instagram's rolling out a competitor to Twitter, and I'm not going to use it. I'm not. Like, I
agree.
I get burned out really quick on hey, we're going to focus all our energy right here because it feels good and it's a nice story. And I agree. It's a nice story. Notice, again, for the 50th time today, I haven't said that this is a bad story. It's a good story. But we're not going to talk about, once again, they're letting LIV guys come onto the tour, win the majors, and then go back to making their money.
So you don't believe that they should be able...
No.
But they're not... Understand, and I think this is an important distinction. The PGA Tour is different than PGA of America.
But let me make this point. Who the hell knows that? Who the hell...
The golfers know that.
Right. The golfers know that.
Yes.
But your average viewer probably has no idea.
No, you're correct. I
They
would agree with that.
no idea.
So the PGA Championship is put on by the PGA of America. It is not put on by the PGA Tour. So the LIV Golf guys are allowed to play in that tournament. And I don't disagree, but this Bryson DeChambeau thing yesterday, so Brooks Koepka wins the PGA Championship. Right? Like, he wins the PGA Championship, and makes babies with Jenna Sims. Like, the guy is living the exact right life. But here's the thing. Brooks Koepka allegedly regrets going to the LIV Golf Tour. And why did he go to LIV Golf? Because he had a significant knee injury that he thought was ending his career. Brooks Koepka hadn't won, and I think you guys probably all know this story, but if you don't, Brooks Koepka, who won the PGA Championship yesterday, had a significant knee injury. He could not squat. He could not kneel down. Like, he could not play golf. It was a bad injury. He was playing horrendous golf. Took time off, got the knee rebuilt. But in that window of horrendous golf where he literally said out loud, I don't know that I will ever win another golf tournament. He said that on Full Swing or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Full Swing.
Right?
Yep.
So he said, hey, I don't know if I'll ever win another tournament. This is as bad as it has ever been. And he said, according to reports, he said that influenced his decision to go to LIV Golf because it's a guaranteed payday. He was well over $150 million guaranteed, I believe it was. And now people around Brooks are saying he regrets that because he got the knee fixed and he's playing superior golf again. And he'd rather be doing that in tournaments that are of consequence because he's likely not going to play the Ryder Cup ever again. He is, because there's no way he's getting out of his LIV Golf contract. He's not going to play Ryder Cup. He's not going to play in the major PGA Tour events that are not PGA of America. Like, it sucks. It sucks. And to see him come over. So Bryson DeChambeau, who's also a LIV Golf guy, had a pretty good tournament and said, well, yeah, this proves that we're playing championship caliber golf on the LIV Tour. And, we are, we're absolutely the best in the world. To which I immediately said, you're full of crap, because I've watched some LIV Golf, regrettably. It is boring. It is slow. The announcers are terrible. It's hard to follow it. And it's uninspiring. And you turn on the Honda Classic, or you turn on the Byron Nelson, or you turn on any garden variety, not even a major. You turn on any garden variety PGA Tour event, and it's good golf to watch. Mm-hmm. So I don't believe for a second that I'll even go as far as to say I don't believe that LIV Golf guys are bad golfers. Come on. Who are we kidding? Brooks Koepka is, in my opinion, one of the finest golfers in the world. Bryson DeChambeau, okay.
He's one of the best golfers in the world by worldly standards, but
Phil Mickelson,
yeah.
But again, the other thing I would point to is if you look at Paulina Gretzky's husband, I should stop. Dustin Johnson had a terrible tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Mickelson had a terrible tournament.
And yet, what did Phil get? Round of applause.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Phil. And no, Bryson, you're not playing championship golf. You're playing vacation golf. That's what you're doing. You're going out to these crappy courses, because remember, LIV can't get on these amazing courses like the PGA can, because the PGA is already there. So LIV can't get on great courses, so you see a bunch of dirt patches, like literally, you see dirt patches and like a really poorly maintained course. And they're all wearing shorts, and it's just real casual and low key, and it doesn't have that feel. It doesn't have Oak Hill's feel, man.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have Augusta's feel. It doesn't have the Honda Classics feel. Like, it doesn't have it. And it really bothers me that this is how golf is set up with the PGA, where you've got the tour, and then the majors. No, we don't want the majors to be a part of the PGA Tour. So all the LIV guys are going to come over. They're going to kick your ass in the majors, and then they're going to go back over to LIV Golf, and no one's going to talk about it. And then I get to sit here and get beat with a stick because I want to give Michael Block his credit for his hole-in-one, but I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the fact that Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, like all these guys, these really talented guys, like, dude, my guy Justin Thomas is plus 15, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not good enough. Like, I understand, hey, I'm plus 3, I'm plus 4, like, I'm struggling to make the cut, but I make the cut, and, like, plus 15 on Sunday?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And that's where I get frustrated, because it's like, yes, Michael Block, hole-in-one, inspirational story, everything's awesome, But I feel like the LIV guys get a pass. And no, I don't feel sorry for Brooks Koepka that you regret going. I understand the position you were in. Hey, my knee is in a really bad place. Like my career's ending. I'm going to go and take the money. Right? But maybe what you should have done is you should have gone to the doctor, got a consultation, understood the position you were actually in, because I feel like if he had done that, he would not have gone over there.
Yeah.
But you went over there because you made an assumption and you didn't believe, hey, I'm an athlete and I can get over this thing. And that's what I left this weekend of golf thinking, hey, these guys are all getting a free pass. And I just will never understand it. I don't understand it, dude.
And I think that's the difference. And the guys have talked about this a lot. I mean, the difference with the PGA and LIV Golf is that the PGA guys have to fight for every dollar they make.
Yeah.
They don't have guarantees. There's a lot of tournaments. And I don't know how many people realize this, but if you're a professional golfer and you go to a tournament and you miss the cut, you get $0.
Yeah.
You do not get paid. You have to make the cut to make the money. And even if there are guys out there that are getting $5,000 depending on the tournament, right? Now, that's not a bad wage, of course. But at LIV Golf, you already got paid. You got a signing bonus. You're getting checks.
What's the point of the golf? There's no pressure.
And that's something that people have talked about. Now, all of a sudden, you want to show up at major tournaments, and you haven't had to hit a driver on the 18th hole of a major championship for any consequence.
Yeah.
For a year now. And if you look at Phil played terribly.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know what else the LIV guys don't have? They don't have big galleries. They have what they have is music playing in the background, and they're all wearing shorts, and it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's a bad vibe. It's not for me. I want guys who have to earn their way through their tour card. I want guys who aren't given entry into every tournament. Because, again, I don't know how many people realize this. If you're on the PGA Tour, you have to play a certain number of tournaments. You have to score at a certain level to be eligible for the next tournament.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you have to go qualify or you have to get a sponsor exemption to get into that tournament.
Because isn't that what makes, Michael Block's story, isn't that what makes it so special? Hey, you had this amazing story, like a crazy story, and now he gets an exemption to go play next weekend. It's not an auto entry. It was more likely, almost guaranteed, that he wouldn't have played next weekend.
He would not have played. He
would not have been there.
But he got his phone rang when he was eating dinner.
Yeah.
And it was the tournament director who said, "Hey, we'd love you to come out and play in our tournament this week."
But it's special because it wasn't guaranteed, and that's my thing with LIV.
And how did he get into the PGA Championship? They didn't just say, "Hey, well, why don't you come play in the tournament?" He had to qualify.
Yeah.
He had to play his way through the PGA Club Pro tournament circuit. He had to play his way in through the qualifying circuit to get into the PGA Championship.
So then he does all of that. He makes this hole-in-one, becomes a celebrity off the hole-in-one, basically, then gets into another chance. It's an amazing story.
But what I would say is, with all due respect, he became a celebrity because he made the cut. He became a bigger celebrity because he was top 20 then. Then he earned his way to top 20, and then on Sunday he hits a hole-in-one and he finishes top 15.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remarkable story. And what did you see? You saw every one of those guys. Brooks Koepka had just won the tournament. He had just won the tournament. He's walking and at Oak Hills, it's a long walk to the scoring tent.
Yeah.
He passes Michael Block on the path to the scoring tent and hugs him and says, "Hey, I heard you're buying the first round of drinks." The guy who just won the tournament stopped to acknowledge Michael Block. We will likely never see it again.
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, and in my life, I'll probably never see it again.
So that's what I say.
Maybe once, but probably not.
I agree. It's a phenomenal story. But I feel like that story pales in comparison to this conversation around, Koepka coming in, winning the major, and then, all right, I'm going to go make my $150 million. It's just, I don't know how the PGA has it. I don't know how you set yourself up or continue this trend moving forward. I understand, hey, it's the first couple of years here with LIV, so totally get it. It takes time to change things. But at some point, you can't have a LIV guy competing to win the Masters, let's say, or the highest traditions in golf. That can't happen, man. It
totally
just can't.
agree. Thank you, and Donuts gave us $5 to the International Monty Golf Fund. Yeah,
Thank you.
We're making content on the channel, and I would say right now, if you guys make donations, if you give us super stickers or just hit the tip jar button, all of that's going to golf content right now. Like I'm paying, $200 for a lesson tonight that we're going to make a golf vlog on, and you'll see it all over social. And so, yeah, you know what, and Donuts, I appreciate that. $5 goes directly to our golf fund.
Yeah.
Jet Wayman, you're banned from the show. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fact.
No, I'm kidding. Hey, Monty, hope you know where to get a good ribeye. Yeah, because I'm going to have to pay you because the Lakers are going to get swept tonight. And I can't wait to give it to you, Teddy. I can't wait to hand you my meat. Grow up. We're talking about steak. Now,
Hiscock.
And I will find, I am probably going to go to Don's Meat on Redwood Road. I'll go to Don's Meat because that's where I get all my wings, my chops, all the briskets. It's a great butcher shop.
Yeah, it is.
And I am going to get you the fattest, loveliest ribeye steak that they have. And
Can you measure it?
I am going to mail it to you. I'm too busy, Teddy. I had to drop it in the mail. Now, it is not my fault that it was sent to Istanbul first in a plain manila envelope. I thought they would send it directly to your house.
In Draper.
Right. No, Teddy. I am fully ready to get you a ribeye steak.
Yeah.
And it will be amazing. Maybe we should do it on a smoker and I don't know. I'll give you a steak. You do what you want with it. I've heard you like never mind.
Yeah.
I'm with Jake. I can't open my phone without seeing that shot. It's cool, but I'm over it already. Well, there you go. Somebody agrees with you. 5 ways to waste your time. Twitter, Reddit, Discord. Man, I used to like Reddit. I haven't looked at Reddit in so long because I agree it's a waste of time. I don't use Discord. Cougar Board. Yeah, I used to go on Cougar Board like once a week. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And watching tour pros hitting a hole-in-one over and over again. Twitter's the big disappointing one there. Yeah. Riley O'Brien. Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Hey, Monty.
Can't wait to see you, Riley, on June 10th at RSL. Did you look up? Is it NYCFC?
It is.
Yeah, pricks. NYCFC. Cougar Tracks. Not going to listen to people knocking on Jake. I'm out of here. Cougar Tracks, you're the best. Taylor Smith. Golfers should get guaranteed money. Live is good. Golfers should get guaranteed money.
I just disagree with that, dude. I disagree.
Totally disagree. But hey, long live Cougar Track says. Fat Jesus. Brooks went to live hoping he would get a chop ahead. Turned out not to be true. Wow.
Saudi stooge.
All I know is Jenna Sims is pregnant, and I love it. Kurt Meyer says, Teddy, that is at least 3 inches thick with no bone.
Okay. This is a family program, dude.
Wow.
Program.
Wow. Jet Wayman says, I'm all for it, Brandon Butler. What did Brandon Butler say? Brandon Butler says, when are we going to get a Jet Wayman wins the steak segment? Never. Never, ever. Not even if there's a fire. That's from a movie. It's a Will Ferrell. There'll be a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm legit buying Teddy Wayne. Our bet is, for those you don't know, the Lakers-Nuggets series. I said the Lakers would win. He said the Nuggets would win, of course. And why did I try to question Teddy? He is the bookie of the show. Like, he is the wager guy here.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to giving Teddy a ribeye steak. He earned it. Absolutely. JW says 1990, Lisa Leslie scored 101 points in 16 minutes.
Okay.
Salty Drunk. Oh, yes. Live Golf guys can cry into their fat bank accounts. I'm sure they'll be fine. That's exactly what I'm saying.
What I mean, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're a sellout.
CJ Vance says, come on, Phil Mickelson is legit. Lefty is a legend. Oh, he is. I don't think there's any doubt, but I also think he absolutely destroyed any legacy he had with this Live Golf.
Listen to me. There's no way to get away from the fact that you have a gambling issue, you sold your private jet, and then you went and got paid by Live. There's no way around it, dude.
And by the way, that dude looks hauntingly thin.
Yeah. There's no way around it.
Yeah, I think it's...
Now, that said, I still am going to learn how to chip from Phil because I think he's one of the best chip shot mid-range players in the game. But, yeah, there's no way around the fact that dude's kind of, just chilling. He's winding out his career. And look, I don't have a problem. Like, with Phil, I don't necessarily have as much of a problem because I already wasn't a Phil guy, and he's well past his prime. Brooks Koepka's in his damn prime.
Yeah, he is.
And went and did that. And that's what I have an issue with.
Well, and I look at a guy, I mean, pick any of the guys, but you look at some of these dudes on that tour, they become irrelevant. How is Dustin Johnson irrelevant? Like, how is that? Like, you look at, and I can't, like, somebody help me, the lefty that plays on LIV Golf.
Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson. Thank you, Jake. How is Bubba Watson irrelevant?
Listen to some of these, look at these names, bro. Like you look at
Paul
Sergio
Casey.
Garcia.
Look at Paul Casey. Look at Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia, Taylor Gooch.
Taylor
Gooch is one of the best American golfers that nobody has seen, right? And you look at Martin Keimer, major championship winner. You look at all of these names. Like, it's remarkable to me that as you scroll the roster and you see guys like Jason Kokrak, irrelevant now. Mark Leishman, irrelevant now. Graham McDowell, irrelevant now. Right? And all of these names, Kevin Na.
Louis Oosthuizen.
Look at Kevin Na. Kevin Na is a great example of this. He's irrelevant. You haven't heard the name Kevin Na in a year. In a year. You haven't heard Pat Perez in a year.
Mito Pereira.
And what are you going to always know? You're going to know, go back to Mito Pereira. You're going to know Mito Pereira is the guy who choked at a major.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea what he's doing now.
Yeah.
What team is he on at LIV Golf?
I don't know the teams.
Yeah, I don't know either. I have no idea either. But
Ian Poulter.
Yeah, you can go up and down this list. And Patrick Reed. You know Patrick Reed for cheating. You don't. And now you know him in a major tournament like the PGA Championship, screaming at a cameraman. Screaming at a cameraman. Like, you don't know these guys. Like Charles Schwartzel is a fantastic Cam Smith. You don't know him for anything, man. Jet Wayman says, I'll put a pic on Instagram. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like,
bro, Lee Westwood.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's really unfortunate. Tanner says, here's some bucks for the International Monty Golf Fund.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
You know, game's terrible right now. I absolutely need it. I need lessons desperately. Roger Sales, the Las Vegas bacon wrap steak at Don's Meats is the bomb. Telling you, man, Don's is the hookup.
Yeah.
The hookup. Salty Drunk, LeBron has already done that, Tanner. Okay. Big Bad Brass Bulls. Golf. Guys, I don't do golf. So this is a boring-ass convo to me, but I understand the LIV just started, and you're expecting it to be the same level. No. That's not the conversation.
Yeah.
You're expecting it to be the same level of a 100-year-old org. No, Bryson DeChambeau and many of the LIV Golf guys say it's better. It's already at and surpassed the PGA Tour. I'm expecting it to survive. Will it survive? Because nobody watches it.
Oh,
nobody.
What a loser!
They're making $0 on TV. They have a deal on the CW that is losing them money. Yeah, I don't know. T-Duck. LIV players laughing at you guys. Yeah, hey, they're taking their money all the way to the bank, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And let them. Listen, it's what I've said about Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson.
Saudi stooge.
What did those two guys say was the reason they went to LIV Golf? They went to LIV Golf for the payday. They both said it. They talked about it openly. I'm going for... Dustin Johnson sat at his dining room table on Full Swing on Netflix. And what did he say? He said, hey, if somebody said to you, do the exact same job, work half the hours, and we'll pay you triple the money, are you going to say no? And he said, no, I'm not saying no. I took the deal, and I'm home more with my kids, and I play golf with my kids, and I spend time with my wife, who, by the way, is smoking hot, Paulina Gretzky. Jenna Sims is pregnant. Brooks Koepka talked about it this weekend. I get to spend more time with my kid because I'm not mandated. And we play far fewer events. But now, some of the rambling at LIV Golf, by the way, to wrap this conversation up, is LIV Golf's no longer flying these guys. They have to pay their own way. The team is expected to pay for all the players. So there's a team component. So there's some rumblings about the longevity of LIV Golf.
I respect DJ and Brooks for owning up to it. Hey, yeah, we did it for the money. I respect you for saying that. 100% I do. But you can't have it both ways.
You can't do what Phil Mickelson did. You can't sell off assets because you are allegedly in hock for gambling, take a massive payday, and then come back and say, well, it's because I want to prove a point, and I'm trying to reform golf for the future generations.
Uh-huh.
And then disappear when somebody said to you, hey, what about the politics? Do you guys remember when he said, well, it's the Saudis? A reporter asked Phil Mickelson, well, it's the Saudis.
Saudi stooge.
You know what Phil Mickelson said to that? Oh, yeah, they're terribly dangerous people. Like, you look like an idiot, dude.
Yeah.
You're one of the best golfers ever, and now you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Let's see. Matt Ritzens gives us $2 to say, should order from Omaha Steaks. They deliver. But half the fun of the bet is getting to see Teddy and hang out with him for 10 minutes.
He deserves more than that, dude. Come on.
Teddy Wayman's a friend of mine. Like, I consider Teddy and I have hung out. We went to the Jazz game together. Like, I want to say hello to Teddy. It's not necessarily that I want to, like, handing him the steak. The best part about handing Teddy Wayman a steak is I get to hand Teddy Wayman a steak. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to order it from Omaha Steaks. All right. It is hour number 3 of the Monty Show. This hour of the show, as always, was presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Family home evening tonight in Utah. Make sure you guys get yourself a Papa Murphy's Pizza. By the way, here's a question for you. Who's done more damage to their legacy, Jason Tatum or LeBron James? We talk the NBA playoffs right after marinara meatballs.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with savory ground beef
covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Yeah, I would tell you guys, download the Papa Murphy's app. It is absolutely the easiest way to order your Papa Murphy's pizza. Find it in your whatever store, iOS. I mean, nobody here uses Android.
Yeah, I don't know who uses Android. I mean, that would be like playing on the LIV Tour.
Because it's garbage.
Android.
Because it's garbage.
Anyway, my point is, go ahead and download the Papa Murphy's app. And I love the app because you can actually order your pizza at 6 in the morning for 4 o'clock pickup. You walk in the door, it's on the to-go rack. You walk in, hey, thanks, walk out, you're home. 30 minutes later, you have got the best marinara meatballs and pizza that a man could happily use and eat. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. Breaking news in the National Football League, according to Adam Schefter from ESPN. Tom Brady is officially a minority owner of the Oakland. We moved to LA and back to Oakland. Now we're in Las Vegas for the time being. Raiders. Hello. Is this a good move or a bad move? I know we've talked about this for a long time. This came out, as you can see, this came out about 9 minutes ago, that Tom Brady, according to Mark Davis, quote, we've come to an agreement with Tom Brady to become a partner in the Raiders, and we've submitted it for NFL approval. We're excited for Tom to join the Raiders. Jake, you like this move? You hate this move? Does it matter to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think it matters on some level. It's Tom Brady in the NFL, so of course it's a story, but I think don't get this confused. It's not like Tom's going to go into the front office and start making decisions, unless, of course, that's part of their agreement. But I don't think it is. I think what Tom's doing is he's investing in the Las Vegas market. And I'm telling you, there are rumblings that LeBron wants to get involved with the NBA expansion team that's going to go to Las Vegas. Don't be surprised if LeBron and Tom are having conversations, because I'm telling you, Tom Brady knows how to win, and I think that he can give great advice. And I think that Tom understands that in the NFL, it's basically a guaranteed success on your investment. The NFL is going to keep growing. It's not going to backslide. Like, you put $1 in, that thing's probably worth $50 in 20 years. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, the thing is just going to continue to grow. So For Tom, that's what this is. But I think Tom wants to be involved in a myriad of sports, and I think he's going to be much like I feel like Kobe was, where Kobe's career ended and Kobe's starting companies and doing all this investment stuff. Like that's what Tom's doing now.
Yeah, and I think very clearly, and I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, he's not going to be a decision maker or an influencer. Tom Brady's buying a small chunk of the Las Vegas Raiders to get into ownership, to live a life beyond being a football player. Because I'm one of the people who says Tom Brady never makes it into the booth to be a game analyst. I just don't see him doing that. I've never thought that was a comfortable fit. I think Tom Brady has bigger fish to fry, and I agree with you. I know that he and LeBron have a relationship. It would not surprise me at all if this was setting Tom up to live in Las Vegas. It would not surprise me at all to see Tom Brady be a majority owner of an NBA franchise in Las Vegas, because I think that's a matter of when, not if. I think this makes all the sense in the world to have Tom Brady be a minority owner in the NFL. It's Tom freaking Brady. He's the best football player that has ever lived. I count him as the best professional athlete who's ever lived. I think Tom is an absolute worthy candidate to be an owner of a football team, and I think he will be a savvy investor. I think this FTX thing, by the way, that's got Shaq caught up in it as well. Tom and Gisele's Bundchen lost, by some reports, tens of millions of dollars to the FTX scandal.
Yeah.
So I think this is a way for him to kind of bulletproof that. But Tom Brady, according to ESPN and Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, has agreed to become a minority owner. They have submitted that application to the NFL for approval. I have to think that is an easy yes.
Yeah.
An easy yes. Hey, one other NFL story I want to get to before we get too far away from this. What do you guys make of this kickoff rule in the NFL? The NFL, and it's odd, they have not voted on it, and they were supposed to vote on it today. They pushed it back to tomorrow, and I think it's largely because they don't have the votes to pass it. You need 24 of the NFL owners to say yes to creating a fair catch rule on kickoffs in the NFL. It is the college rule. They want to make a rule that says, hey, if we kick off and you're inside the 25, so from the 25-yard line back to the goal line, anywhere in that window, if you fair catch the football, it's automatically placed on the 25-yard line. This is some bullshit, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the NFL. This is not big boy football. This is, hey, let's all right, little Timmy, put it on the 25. Come get your orange slices. That's what this feels like.
Yeah.
I'm against this 100%. Every special teams coordinator in the NFL voted against it. Every head coach in the NFL voted against it. And I think that's why you're seeing the competition committee and the NFL full ownership vote is having trouble getting the numbers they need to support this. Is there any way, shape, or form you would be in favor of it?
No, I just don't think that's. I just think it goes against the fabric of the game. I mean, again, this is my stance on rules like a pitch clock in baseball, right? I'm against rules that change the fabric of the game. Like in the NFL, okay, you want to move the ball up so there's more touchbacks to lower head injuries on the return, and you want to limit how many guys can be placed where and distant. Okay, great. I'm
the
cool
wedge.
with all that.
I'm in favor of the taking out the wedge because it was a violent, unnecessarily damaging event in a football game.
Yeah.
Kickoffs and punt returns are the very fabric of football. It is kick me the football and come tackle me.
Yes.
That's exactly, and we call that the National Football League.
Yeah.
And I just think that this is softening the game. I understand the need to protect players, and this was done under the guise of, we need to protect the brains of these NFL combatants. I totally understand that. And I think the NFL, in my opinion, the NFL has done a really good job of instituting rules that protect player safety. But here's the thing. Now we're going too far. All of these weak-ass roughing the passer penalties, we've gone too far. All of these situations where you want to tell me you want to protect their brains, but then Tua Tagovailoa comes back way too soon, then Tua Tagovailoa is allowed to return to a game, and you're going to preach at me about protecting brains by not allowing kickoff returns in the NFL. Why not just put the ball on the 25-yard line and let's go about our business?
Yeah.
Because that's what you're doing with this. And I think it takes out the game. And furthermore, at some point, I know this is going to sound awfully harsh, but at some point we have to come to terms with the fact we cannot legislate concussions out of NFL football.
Yeah.
Pop Warner, high school, even junior college. Okay, I totally get that. College football. Okay, I totally get that. The majority of those guys will never draw a paycheck in the NFL. But we're paying professional athletes an incredible amount of money. We're paying them that money because the NFL and playing professional football comes with the inherent risk of physical damage that is lifelong lasting.
Facts.
You understand that when you sign the contract. And I think at some point we have to stop changing the very fabric of the game. Because if we continue to do that, we take the game away, as we have in baseball, in my opinion. And it becomes something that we didn't sign up for. But we'll never be able to unwind that watch. A pitch clock is here forever. Throwing over to first base is gone forever. The art of stealing bases is gone forever. The chess moves in baseball are gone forever. If you put in this kickoff rule and you put that ball at the 25, because, by the way, why wouldn't you do that every single time? The percentages say you would just fair catch it and put it on the 25 every single time.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that? You're changing the fabric of the game. Special teams matter. Special teams, you know what else you're doing when you change this rule? You're eliminating jobs in the NFL. It's guys like Devin Hester who would never have existed with this rule, because Devin Hester and every other kickoff return guy in the NFL doesn't get the option anymore because the head coach is going to say, hey, you're putting your hand up and we're putting that ball at the 25, because overwhelmingly you're not getting past the 25 on kickoff returns.
Yeah.
Right? To me, it is a really, really bad move if they do this.
Yep.
It just, and I'm not saying that I agree. And what I'm telling you is football's a dangerous sport. When you sign your contract in the NFL, you are well aware that concussions are an issue now.
Yes.
There's no more they hid it from us or we didn't know. You are well aware that concussions, that every time you play football, every time you put on a football helmet and go to practice, you are doing brain damage to yourself.
Yeah.
That's essentially the facts of the case. So you know that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do kickoff returns, don't play in the NFL. Go play intramurals, brother.
Yeah.
You know, like you just
Yes.
can't continue to do this.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that the NFL is tired of being sued over concussions and and it's like, dude, that's the sport you play.
Yeah. All right, let's get your comments on this. Are you guys in favor of this? Jet Wayman, the ribeye steak-eating tile king of Utah. Screw that kickoff rule. It sucks, man. I don't want them to pass it at all. I hope not to. San Diego State Glenn, who's talking a load of shit about women's volleyball. Or actually softball. About women's softball.
Yeah.
San Diego State. How about, by the way, I was only half kidding. How about Utah women's softball?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Hosted a regional, dominated it, ran through it, and now they're going to host a super regional against San Diego State.
Just saying.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good. Al Davis rolling over in his grave. I don't disagree. I'm no NFL fan, Salty says, but wouldn't that alter the fabric of the game? Absolutely it does.
Yes.
Absolutely it does. No doubt about it. Kurt Myers, JK, at least Jake is reading your posts and stealing your lines.
What are you talking
about? Who are you
about?
talking about, man? I don't know what you mean by that. The Big Three Texan, otherwise known as Big Daddy Magic. The Buffalo Bills is the home of big boy football. Oh, God.
Here we go.
Let me guess. Victor Wembanyama incoming.
Yeah.
No, Victor's the way.
Yeah, well, here, let me, all right.
Victor's the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Raider Mark, it's like passing a NASCAR rule that you can't exceed 175 miles because the wrecks can be more dangerous.
Yeah.
What did NASCAR do? They didn't slow the car down. They improved the car and the safer barrier.
Yeah.
And the harness and the helmet system.
And the arrow on the car so the car doesn't flip. And
you know what I'm saying? Delaric says, I say go with XFL kickoff rules. I don't know XFL kickoff rules. I don't. Salty Drunk. I think sporting bodies are doing everything they can to try and avoid impact contact to the head. And then some. I think that's a great point, Salty. Look at that. I was watching rugby over the weekend.
You're out of your freaking mind.
It was tough to watch.
Soccer, rugby.
It's not like the AFL in Australia. That's my jam. Rugby league in America, they score on like every other play. Big Daddy Magic. Oh, and by the way, it's the 43rd anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. Pay homage to the greatest movie franchise in the history of the world.
I am your father.
I will say my mother, who hates me, would refuse to buy me Star Wars toys. Would not buy. I wanted so badly as a kid. I wanted a Millennium Falcon so badly. So bad. She would not buy me one. She would. And again, because he was one of my best friends ever, Keith Horowitz, had the X-Wing fighter. He had it all, dude. I had none of it.
Yeah.
I had none of it. And it really, I couldn't. So let me get you wouldn't buy me Jordans. You wouldn't buy me any nice toys. And I wasn't allowed to eat, and you chained me to a pole in the basement.
Filling in for somebody.
Those are all lies. No, she wouldn't buy me Jordan or toys, but I ate a lot, as you can tell. Kurt Myers, football is a gladiator sport. People pay for violence. They do. And they feed on violence. There's no doubt. Riley O'Brien, hey, Monty. Shout out to the Monty Show. Just in case I hadn't publicly stated how much I love and support the program. Appreciate that. Thank you. Greg Hawkins says, sup, casuals. Long time no see. Greg, how's the baby? How's mom? Greg Hawkins just had a lovely bouncing baby boy.
Yes.
Hope you are well. Taylor, boys, favorite beer?
4X Gold.
Probably 4X Gold, which is an Australian beer that James Knight welched on a bet. Still hasn't sent us any. But if I had one.
I'm not a huge beer guy.
I'm probably a Modelo guy. I mean, I'm never turning down a Coors Light. Teddy Wayman, when we went to the Jazz game, I had a lovely Budweiser. But I don't know. If I had one, probably a Modelo. I'm a Modelo guy. I love Modelo. But again, and I know I should not say this out loud on this program. You hand me a Bud Light, I'm drinking it all day long.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
You hand me a cold Bud Light, dude, done.
You are fake.
Done. But again, Mrs. Monty, my queen, and I were talking about this over the weekend. I am not a drinker, dude. I used to be like 10 beers a day. That's a lie. That never happened. But I used to have a weekend beer. I used to be a tequila guy. Casamigos are nothing now. I used to be a vodka guy. Not really a vodka guy anymore. Because I just know too much. I know the damage it does to my system. And I'm actually really in a great place weight loss-wise. I weighed myself this morning, lost 4 pounds. I was so pissed on Saturday morning. I got up to go golf on Saturday morning. Or excuse me. I got up to play golf on Saturday morning and weighed myself. Stark naked in my basement. My dog was staring at my butt crack.
Bro,
and
dude.
What?
Dude.
What?
We don't need that level of clarity.
I'm just trying to share my experience with our viewers. Anyway, so me and the boys were hanging out in the laundry room.
Wait, the boys being the dogs or the boys being the boys?
Boys being the boys. And Rhino, my dog.
Hugh Janus.
And I had gained 4 pounds, and I was so frustrated. I was just like, dude, what the hell? Like, I had been eating pretty well. Yeah, granted, here and there. But I generally, I'm on cue. Like today, I had a salad for lunch. I had one of these burritos that we got. 400 calories for the burrito, 200 calories for the salad. Like, killing it. Doing really well. Mrs. Monty's meal prepping with me. Like, amazing. Gained 4 pounds. I was so pissed. So pissed. Yesterday, offloaded, like took the Browns to the Super Bowl. It was amazing. This morning, there was like a galactic axis of the earth changing incident in the pregame. But I went downstairs today, lost those 3 pounds plus one.
Can't weigh yourself every day.
I don't. I weigh myself once a week.
Okay.
Usually Saturday or Sunday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I don't weigh myself every day. But yeah, liquor is just it's not great for your system. Mike Phillips, I love beer. Red Rock's Fuca Fino. Okay. Truck Stop Gumby says poop. Truth. Taylor Smith says dog had the best view in the house.
Dude. That's what I'm saying, bro. Oh, me and the boys are hanging out. Yeah, we get it. You said you were naked on the scale.
Yeah, I know. Greg Hawkins, I love beer so much that it's a passion and possibly an addiction. I haven't drank for over a month. Feels great. Greg, I know you're going through it, dude.
Attaboy.
I know you're going through it, man, and I'm happy for you. Where's our guy Eric C., our Sandiagan? We need to reach out to him. I know he's going through it too. Go local Roosters IPA. Okay. Kurt Myers, I'm called. I call bucked up on Bud Light beer. Okay, that's fine. You know, whatever it is. Bro, that's bucked up. Nate B says. You know. Taylor Smith. LOL. I hope Mrs. Monty didn't have to use the same toilet as Monty. No, we have separate bathrooms. So, if I have to poop, I will not poop in the same room as my wife. Like, if she's in our master bedroom, I will go all the way down to the basement to poop. I won't. I will not do it. Yeah. I did it last night. Night.
Okay, what's the deal? It's just I know what the deal is, but like
I don't want her to experience that either audibly or through sense of smell. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
I don't think it's embarrassing.
Maybe not embarrassing, but
it's just unpleasant for someone who's not outputting.
I don't want to sit there and drop bull rattlers while my wife is in the room.
Here I am.
Because she can hear it, right? It's not.
It said bull rattlers.
Well, but seriously, I am known to be quite the audible pooper. Like it's. So I'm not doing that. Like, no.
It's internal.
No, if I'm not pooping, absolutely. I have been known to put methane into the air. But I'm not, dude. I'm not a poop in the same room.
Nah.
I'm not doing that. Truck Stop Gumby says, that's a good husband. Mrs. Monty is so lucky, Mike Phillips says, same Monty. I'm a basement pooper. Let's go.
I mean, there's a certain vibe about being in the bunker while you're taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
But, and I shouldn't say this too loud. If we're truth telling, most of my damage is done at the Maverick Center. I'm a 10 a.m. guy. Let's just put it that way. Hey, man, can we meet at 10? Nah, bro, like 10:30, 10:45. Oh, are you sure? Yeah, I got an appointment. Yeah, I can't make it.
Yeah, we got a meeting upstairs.
Waves in opposition.
But you guys, again, we're way off the track now. But again, this is why I tell you, I'm 50 years old, have my colonoscopy. I eat high fiber cereal every morning. Every morning. And dude, 10 o'clock, like clockwork.
It is what it is.
Every day. Every day. And I thank my universal stars for that. Truck Stop Gumby, it's the Browns in the Super Bowl. And Monty, that's a QB calling an audible. Truth. Brown Trout, Kurt Myers says.
Well.
Okay, that's a new one. Brandon Butler, when is the NBA talk? I kind of feel like Monty's avoiding the conversation. Didn't he pick the Celtics and the Lakers? No, I actually picked Miami. That's a lie. I guess you.
I mean, okay.
I guess
let
we can't avoid.
Let me clear this up real quick.
The steak talk. No,
What's there to talk about?
Okay, this is a serious conversation. So, are the NBA playoffs boring? Because I kind of think they're boring.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not excited for this game. It's an hour away. It's Denver and the Lakers. But if the Lakers were up, I wouldn't be excited about this game. Because I'm not a Laker fan and I'm not a Nuggets fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm not a Jokic fan. Right? Like, it's amazing to me how many people get so pissed when LeBron does anything good and how many people celebrate when he fails. I just don't care about LeBron. Like, he's not a guy where I'm like, oh, my God, LeBron. Why? Like,
I mean, yeah.
It's boring. Honestly, I love watching NBA playoffs, but I will freely admit the NHL playoffs have been far more that Oilers series or the Vegas-Dallas series.
Epic.
Dude, this Florida series, and I know I can't remember who it was. Oh, Carolina's winning it.
Right.
They're down 2-0. Are the NBA playoffs boring to you guys this year? Like,
yeah, well, I think the tough part is there's not much to watch. I mean, again, like this Celtics collapse, and I'm calling it a collapse.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing. And everyone, and this is, I guess maybe this is the same energy as the LIV conversation, but everyone wants to blame Joe Mazzulla.
That's right.
And I'm a little over that. It's not all on Joe Mazzulla. Now, is he an average-ass coach? Yeah, 100% average-ass coach. Did not deserve being given, the full-time, non-interim thing. Like, didn't deserve any of that. But that's in the past now. They made that choice. He's on a contract. Okay, great. Maybe they'll move on after the season. I don't know, and I don't really care. I'm here to talk about the fact that Jason Tatum's not a winner, right? How many times is this guy going to get deep in the playoffs and not get the job done? And how many times is Jimmy Butler going to come in as an underdog and beat that ass? Because that's what he's done.
Yeah.
He has shut them up and abused Derek White. Dude, Bam Adebayo dropping Jaylen Brown.
That was unbelievable.
Like, that's embarrassing, Jaylen. And I got people DMing me about, hey, should the Jazz go and get Jaylen? Should they go and get this guy or that guy? I don't want Jaylen Brown on my team, dude.
Why would Jaylen Brown be a guy that you want to, after what you've seen the last two playoff runs? Why is it, like, have you thought about that? And the Jazz in particular, the Jazz can get any player through the draft or in trade.
Yeah.
Any player they want. Why would Jaylen Brown be the first guy that comes to your mind? That's crazy to me. That Bam Adebayo play, and I know everybody's like, oh, Bam pushed it. Dude, they've showed the replay 10 different ways. Bam never touches Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Jaylen got juked by Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
Who then goes and gets Grant Williams on a poster dunk. And Grant Williams, who was like in Jimmy Butler's face. Hey, by the way, Al Horford, how's that timeout signal looking?
Idiot.
How embarrassing is this Celtics team?
Jackass.
It is tragic to me when you look at this Celtics team, just how bad this Celtics team is.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I struggle with is Jason Tatum. What's it going to take to get Jason Tatum to break through? Because there's something that happens to that cat in pressure situations where you can see the ball just comes off a little different. Not once, not twice, 3 times yesterday, wide open in the corner. You know why he was wide open? They stopped rotating to him because he could not hit a corner 3. Couldn't hit it. They stopped rotating to him. And that's Jason Tatum. Wide open. Couldn't hit. And I don't mean like just missed a 3-point shot off the rim. Dude, he short rimmed those first 2.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I am gripping the basketball.
Because it's garbage.
How do you explain that? And a lot of it in my mind is Ime Udoka is a really good coach.
Yeah, he is.
That's somebody you want around single women in your organization.
Uh-huh.
Or married women,
Right.
allegedly speaking.
Yeah, let's send him to the Rockets. That's a good idea.
But you want to develop young talent? Hey, Ime, come on in. Let's chat. Because that dude made this team.
Yeah.
And the problem now is Joe Mazzulla ain't that guy. Joe Mazzulla is not that guy. And if you look at the way that this team is falling apart in the postseason, because they really haven't had an easy, dominant run through any of these series.
No.
And it was improbable that they beat Philly.
Yeah.
They've needed the other team to self-destruct, and he ain't going to do that. He's not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that.
So when you ask, hey, are the playoffs boring? Yeah, they're boring because the Celtics are not being the Celtics and the Lakers are not being the Lakers.
No.
And no, LeBron's legacy is not on the line, even though everyone wants to run out the stat about how he's never been swept. Do you understand that this cat's playing at 38 years old? This cat's playing the best player in the league or at a minimum one of the best players in the league, surrounded by a bunch of role players who are invested in their team, who know they need to make a difference. By the way, my guy here for like the last 3 years has been talking about how KCP is going to shoot this team to a championship just like he did in the bubble with the Lakers. Michael Porter Jr. stepping up, Jamal Murray getting back to 50-point Jamal Murray. And we want to sit here and talk about how LeBron's legacy is going to be tarnished because,
and that's,
come on,
you know,
dude.
the other thing, like I'm tired of hearing about, what does people say about LeBron commonly? He flops. Okay, who in the NBA doesn't flop? No, he whines. Okay, who in the NBA doesn't? Does anybody whine more than Nikola Jokic?
No.
I mean, anybody whine more than Nikola Jokic. But you don't complain about Nikola Jokic whining. Why do you hate LeBron? Well, because he's good.
Yeah.
He's arguably the best player of his generation.
And I can't remember who made the point. One of the guys on ESPN, I can't remember who it was, but one of them was saying, dude's had 3 Hall of Fame careers in one.
Yeah.
Which I think is spot on, right? Like the Cleveland portion, then the Miami portion, now the Laker portion. Like, dude's putting up numbers, and I get it. Like, hey, the Miami portion was his bread and butter, but man, dude, going back to Cleveland and winning one, now having won one in LA already. By the way, everyone wants to discount LeBron's championship in the bubble. I got news for you. The same 4 teams that were in the conference finals in the bubble, right here, right now. Same guys, same teams. Nothing's changed, right? Nothing's changed in the league. The only thing that's changed is Anthony Davis is still soft, right? He's still he made one shot in the bubble that propelled the Lakers, and that's basically it. That's his ceiling right now as a player. That moment, that shot in the black unis in the Bruce Lee Kobe 5. That's his ceiling. He hasn't been the same guy since. We've seen flashes, but not the same guy. So I'm not really wanting to have the, hey, getting swept by Denver is going to tarnish LeBron's legacy. Because I got news for you. The guy's legacy is cemented already. I mean, outstanding of some sort of off-the-court scandal, right? Like if tomorrow it comes out that LeBron is having an affair with someone in the organization, okay, yeah, that's going to cause problems for dude's legacy. But he's made it 20 years in the league, 19 years now. I think he'll finish his career fine. He is cemented in history. You guys understand that, right? Cemented, like minted. And I'm not even a LeBron guy, but he's minted in league history now. So let's not say that, hey, when they get swept tonight, that it's going to tarnish his legacy, because it's not. It's not.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what this all plays out like, and how all of this turns. Like, I think that it is so interesting that LeBron James and the Lakers being down 3-0 is the biggest story in the NBA. Think about that. It's not Boston. It's not Denver. It's LeBron and the Lakers being down 3-0.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, he flops everywhere. Like, who cares? Everybody flops.
Yeah.
You know, like it is. But
the point remains, by the way, not to get too far from why we're talking about this, the point remains that this year's NBA playoffs, to this point, had been really good. The conference finals have been boring as hell. And it's mainly because the best players are soft. Right now, Jason Tatum's soft, Jaylen Brown's soft. I would say that
Kevin Durant.
I would say that I'm not running from that. I do think KD was soft with the Suns. I think on the Suns, Book was the only guy that really had some ridiculous postseason and did what he was supposed to do. And I still maintain, again, you want to talk about a guy who's got legacy on the line, Book did everything that he could do individually. And I'm a big believer. This league, it's been like 10 years now that you can't win alone. What LeBron did alone in Cleveland is never happening again in the league. You're not going to see that anymore because the league is too good now.
All right, so let me go off script a little bit, because 3 people today have sent me this story about Washington State.
Oh, God. Kirk Schultz.
Yes. So apparently Washington State has frozen all athletic spending. They have frozen all athletic hiring.
Uh-huh.
And what's interesting is, and Jimmy Vassell, Coach Lovren in Seattle sent me this as well. Talking about how now their number is different. Like Coach Lovren says $73 million in the hole at Washington State. Jimmy said it was $80 million in the hole. Let's go with 75. We'll cut it down the middle. Washington State is $75 million in the hole currently. And with the school preparing to make payments for the Comcast issue, Kirk Schultz is looking to dip from the school himself as the AD is looking to leave, apparently.
Okay.
What's interesting about this, though, he's been the mouth of the Pac-12 the last 10 days.
Uh-huh.
He's been the guy talking.
Well, I guess that works one of two ways, right?
Is Washington State of value? This is the thing and this is where I don't have a handle on this, because I have always said Washington State is not of value. You want somebody in that region, it's not Pullman, it's Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Gonzaga is the one of value. And I think when you look at Washington State, and I think both of these guys make a very interesting point, and bless you, Mary, as well, who sent me this story. I am curious how much this Comcast payment's going to change the way business is done in the Pac-12. Because I think it's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a big one. I don't know. And I am not confident that I think this Comcast issue could be a just as significant. Let me put it that way. Just as significant a reason as why the Pac-12 does not survive as the TV issue is.
Yeah, well, the problem is that you have the Comcast thing that's, it's much like the Big Ten situation, right? Where you have to repay a cost that you didn't fulfill.
Correct.
And in the Pac-12 situation, you just were overcharging for years on end and, whatever. You were aware of it and you kept doing it, and now it's come out and now you got to pay the money back. So it's hard for me, we don't like to speculate on this show, generally speaking, on things we don't know about. But on the value part of the conversation, I'm more than happy to say that I think value is determined by who you're asking. I mean, again, if you ask the Big 12, I would need Brett Yormark to talk in specific about how he decides value. Because again, if you're the Big 12, I mean, Oregon State is definitely valuable, but Washington State is kind of one and the same. I mean, you're still Pacific time zone, you still play football and basketball. It is kind of the one and the same. But to me, I think there was a lot of momentum with Oregon State with the new facilities, and there's a lot going on, and things are happening, and you haven't really heard from Oregon State. Meanwhile, Washington State's been running their mouth for the last 2 weeks. So
it's interesting.
I don't know how you determine value on that, but I would agree, if you're the Big 12, there's only one question that matters when you're talking expansion. Does it matter that Gonzaga is only basketball? Does it matter that they are a lighter payment because they only play basketball? So if you're Brett Yormark, are you sitting there saying, okay, we're going to add Gonzaga no matter what? That has no impact on this? Or are you saying it's Gonzaga or one of these schools? I think that's a crucial thing as far as the Big 12 is concerned.
Yep, I agree. All right, the Monty Show, as always, is presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Thank you, as always, for being here. We appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back tomorrow. A lot more on that story. I'll dig into this Washington State story, see what we find. Yeah. Look for some golf content on the channel, because I'm going to go and take a horrible lesson right now. Until tomorrow, as we always do. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.